Sweet.
Preparing to live stream the meeting.
Oh, I gotta change my name here.
Oh, you want me to end this?
Oh no, you're good. I always forget to do that.
And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. On today's episode, we got a very special guest. We have old school Pokemon in the building. Yeah, I was telling him before we started this live stream, I'm definitely a little bit of a fanboy of his. I'm a super big fan of his channel. So I'll let you introduce yourself too, Nick.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick, old school Pokemon. Been in the hobby for quite some time now. Originally got back in 2009, started buying and selling cards on eBay all through high school, pretty much all through college. Got out of it for a little bit in the later half of college. And then after I graduated college, got back into buying and selling Pokemon cards. That's actually when I started collecting cards as well. And just recently, actually a year ago yesterday, I quit my full-time job and decided to do Pokemon full-time. So I've been buying and selling Pokemon cards on eBay for 1 year now as my full-time job, which is absolutely awesome. And yeah, just looking forward to chatting some cards with you guys. Always fun.
Yeah, so I got a question about that. What was like the biggest change for you? I mean, obviously, I know in your last video you talked just about like the healthcare benefits and stuff that you had to start paying that. But is it a little different now that your paycheck isn't really the same every week, and now it's really going to just depend on how much you're selling in cards and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was that's gonna it's so with my job, my previous job working on the cargo ship, it was kind of similar to what I'm doing right now, because I would make money for 3-4 months while I was away working, and then I would come home for 3-4 months on vacation, wouldn't be working, and I wouldn't be making a paycheck at that time. So you kind of had to budget the money that you made in that 3-4 month time period while you were off for that same 3-4 month time period. It was a little bit easier back then because I was making more money doing that than I am doing eBay. But that definitely helped me learn to kind of budget money for the slow times that we have in the market. But it does get a little bit stressful. Like September was a really slow month for me, and that definitely got to be a little bit discouraging because pretty much that whole first half of the year was absolutely incredible. January through July, sales were just absolutely incredible, and then it started to slow down. July got slower, August got slower, September was really slow for me, so that definitely got discouraging right there. And then, like I said in I think that was my CDC return video, I was talking about that stuff. The health insurance, getting on my own health insurance, that was kind of a pain right there. I didn't know anything about that process, and had to kind of learn that whole process, but all squared away with that now, which is a big relief.
You know, the crazy thing is like I'm just thinking about if I was you, because you know, one of the big things I'll do is buy a bunch of cards online. But yeah, a lot of how I grow my collection is I have to sell cards in order to free up some money and in order to keep growing my collection. But like very rarely lately is it like month after month am I in the positive. Now I'm like in the negative, like, yeah, maybe I'll sell $1,000 worth of cards, but I'm buying 2,000. So I don't know how you were able to get past that hurdle, because for me, that hurdle's tough to get past, where it would be like, no, let's just take all the money in and not have any of it going out. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough budgeting. It's a struggle sometimes for sure, because there's a lot of, especially right now, there's a lot of opportunity out there for different collections to purchase. So yes, it's tough saying no to some of those.
Let me ask you a question. For when you talk about like some really good deals out there, have you noticed that there are some deals out there that are better than pre-2020?
Oh yeah. No, we're starting to see that for sure.
I noticed it like real recently, and actually today, like as of recording this video, what is the day before Thanksgiving, the 24th, So I actually, believe it or not, you ever buy stuff and then you don't realize who's selling it, and then you realize it was TCA or like Cat Pratt or something, until you get it in the mail. Well, I bought in, somebody was selling some Skyridge cards, and I'll show you the 3 slabs I bought, and I'll tell you the prices I paid for them. So, like, just non-hollows, a Cyclone Energy, PSA 9. It's the uncommon in the set. $15.50 for a PS. I was buying like, non-hollow PSA 9s, PSA 10s pre-2020, and I wasn't getting them this cheap. And like, all right, like a card like this, is it really super rare? No, it's a non-hollow from Skyridge, but because the populations are so low, it's really hard to complete your master set without actually sending the cards in yourself. Yeah. Like these are perfect examples of cards that always held like a relative premium just because of the actual scarcity of the pop report, maybe not the card itself. And I look at this card, $15.50. How long would it take me to grade this card myself with, PSA's current turnaround times and prices, and to have it get, what is this card raw? 99 cents, $2 maybe?
I'd say $2 or $3. Yep.
Plus $10 for grading. That's $13 plus shipping. It's the price I paid for this. This is one of those, like, this is definitely a convenience thing. But like I said, I was paying this price pre-2020, and a lot of times a little more for these cards.
Yeah.
And I just think these cards are, so when, I don't know what, I mean, obviously you're a big No Damage Ninetales guy, but I don't know if you're like a set collector, if you do try to complete any master sets. And Skyridge is one of the sets I'm trying to complete in a master, PSA 9 or 10. And there's a couple 8s thrown in, especially for the reverse hollows that I graded myself. I don't know if you've tried grading any of those, like Expedition, Aquapolis, Skyridge, reverse hollows, but I got a couple 8s that I didn't really see any of the scratches on the front, but they're definitely.
I actually don't think I've ever graded a reverse hollow from any of the e-reader sets.
Yeah, they're pretty tough, and like you get lucky once in a while, but look at a card like this, uncommon, Skyridge, and Skyridge is a tough set too, because when you got to think, well, like, what's the pop report on an uncommon non-hollow? It's probably like around 40. I'd say all these trainers for Skyridge are floating right around like the 40 graded population. And it's like, well, how can you get a baseline of how many of these are actually out there and potentially could be graded in the future? And I always look at like the Pikachu common from Skyridge.
Yep.
Because that card was worth it to grade now for a while. And I think that uncommon, not the reverse hollow, but the actual common, I want to say there's like 160 of them in the pop report or something like that. So it's not even a lot. And that is definitely the one non-hollow common you would grade in that set forever.
Oh, definitely.
And, you think about a Skyridge pack, you got 9 cards in it. One of those is going to be your reverse hollow. Then one of them is going to be your rare. Then the one before, the slot before the reverse hollow is either going to be like your crystal card, or if you got lucky, there's a hollow. Then you only have 2 uncommons and 5 commons in that pack. So when you think about it, 2 uncommons per Skyridge pack, how much is a unopened Skyridge pack right now? $1,000?
Yep. Right around there.
You get 2 uncommons. This is one of the 2. Oh, and I bought another uncommon from him. The friend ball, $20.50. These 2 uncommons cost me less than $40 out of a pack that costs $1,000. And these are both PSA 9s. Like, do you ever like, break stuff down that way and think about how crazy prices in some stuff might be undervalued opposed to like the sealed product? I mean, obviously Skyridge, yes, there's always the chase, right?
Yeah.
Like when you break down the actual cards in the pack, like, I don't know, it's crazy.
Oh no, it absolutely is. I do think I do think we're going to get back to a point like it was pre-2020 where grading non-hollow WotC cards is going to become where you basically break even, maybe lose a little bit of money on a PSA 9, and then 10s are where you make a little bit of money.
And
I think like I follow like first edition WotC commons and uncommons a lot.
Yeah. It's good for the buyer though. The
yeah,
guy
exactly.
Like for me, just get 2 PSA 9s for $40 and just to not have to send those cards in myself is worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so I know you have a pretty decent amount of commons, uncommons. Didn't you buy a bunch from King Pokemon?
I've bought a lot from him over the years.
How many uncommons you bought? Like a lot, right?
Yeah, so my first really big purchase from him was it was 45,000 unlimited base set 1 commons and uncommons. They were all near mint to mint condition.
40? You said 40,000?
45,000. Yep.
Well, wait, so there's 11 cards.
He opened up hundreds of unlimited base boxes back in the day.
Yeah, that's like 100 boxes worth of cards. At base set had 11 cards in a pack with 2 energies, but still. So did they include the energies or no energies?
Yeah, no, it was all the energies, all the commons, all the uncommons.
What you bought from them, did it include the energies?
Yeah, yep.
Nope, I think it froze. Yep, I can hear you now. So what you bought from them, did it include the energies?
Yeah. So it was all the basic energies, all the commons, all the uncommons, and then it was the rare character cards. There were, for some reason, he couldn't find the rare trainer cards.
Yeah. So what, like the Dragonair, the like Doug Trio, those?
Yeah.
Rares?
Yep. Electabuzz,
yeah.
Electrode, Beedrill.
Yeah. Did you? Now I know Rusty kind of brought up the Beedrill with the first edition with the D in it. Have you found any of those?
I have not. I
have never seen one until he showed that.
Yep. I didn't know about that error until he pointed that out. That's something that only he would notice.
Yeah, it would. It's got to be a lot rarer though than like he kind of let on.
I would imagine so. But then again, I've never looked for it until I forget when he initially released that video. But I was never looking for him until he put that video out. That's when I started looking for him. But I've never found one.
Yeah. And speaking of first edition pack, I know you went to the Pokemon Saves the World event.
Oh, that was such a fun time.
Listen, I'll tell you, it looked like everybody that was there had a lot of fun watching it. Like from the outside looking in, it looked like just a train wreck. I gotta ask you, did you go back and watch it? And were you able to like remove yourself from the fact that you were actually there having a lot of fun and look at it from the outside looking in?
I've watched bits and pieces of it. Never very much, because I was actually watching it at the event just to see what it looked like, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
they did not do a very good job with it. It was funny because so I forget how many subscribers Dumb Money has, like their YouTube channel.
It's gotta be a ton.
They had a lot less viewers on their live stream than the live stream that PokeRev was doing at the same time, just kind of giving a recap of what people were pulling and stuff like that.
And it was because of PokeRev that I even realized it was going on. So I definitely understand that, which is when you think about like some of these real big PokeTubers, man, they can move the needle.
Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah.
And when people talk about like the Logan Paul effect, I'm one of the people that love to say like, yeah, Logan Paul had a huge effect, but then I always like to like downgrade the effect. But then when you think about stuff like that and you're like, yeah, maybe it really does make a difference.
Oh, I definitely think it does.
Yeah. So in that stream, you said that was the first ever Shadowless first edition pack you ever opened?
Yeah, first ever first edition pack. I've never opened one of those before.
All right, now I got to ask you. So you've opened obviously enough packs that we'll call you a pack opening expert at this point. But there were some people on there really struggling with those first edition base set packs, and I've never personally opened one before. So is it actually harder than say like a Shadowless or Unlimited pack, or were those people just really shouldn't have been opening packs in the first place?
Well, did you see my pack opening?
Yeah, it was okay.
My hand was shaking like a leaf.
Well, yeah, you were like, all right, guys, let me open.
I thought it was harder, but I was also a lot more nervous opening that one than the other two.
Yeah.
It was funny though, because me and Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles were both towards the end of that box break. And the beginning of that box break was terrible. It was basically all non-hollows for the beginning of the box break. And so by the time it got to us, if it was a legitimate factory sealed box with 12 hollows in the box, by the time we got to open a pack, we basically had a guaranteed shot of a hollow, assuming there were 12 hollows in the pack. So I went into it expecting a hollow, which I almost wish I didn't, because that kind of ruined some of the excitement for me. But it was still a really cool experience. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
All right. Now I want to ask you, because I haven't like talked about this publicly, but I've been thinking about it. So did you get a chance to actually look at your pack to see if it was resealed? And listen, bear with me. This is going to be like, I should have got a tinfoil hat, but this is tinfoil hat stuff. If I were to have resealed that box, I would have resealed it the way those cards were pulled, meaning nothing probably graded a 10, and they were all, and no Charizards. That's how I would have resealed that box, because I would have just went and bought a bunch of like PSA 8s, cracked all the slabs, put them in there. And obviously I could just call you up and say, hey, can I get a bunch of bulk, commons and uncommons? Like, that's how I would have resealed that box. Yeah. And then this is why I didn't like that box, because the person who verified that box did it on a live stream. And obviously the person who verified that box opened it was none other than Mr. 30K Bulbasaur himself. Like, I mean, when you found out that he was the one verifying the packs and everything, because you've seen enough of my resealed videos, like you can do a bunch of sketchy stuff when you are behind the camera. Like, did it ever cross your mind, or you like, no, this was definitely a legit box?
No, I'm 99% sure that it was a legit box with
this
no
is just
issues.
tinfoil hat.
No, because I actually King Pokemon Gary actually brought that box to Collecticon back in June. So I was able to look at it then, more so than I did at the Pokemon Saves the World event, and it looked perfectly fine.
But
from what I saw,
the box was already open though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the box wasn't real.
No, but even all the packs inside, the packs looked perfectly fine. Didn't look like they were opened at all.
There was no like custody sales or anything on that box.
There was at some point.
Oh, dude,
they did the same thing with like Rusty, where they put
like what Rusty did. Dude, I would be so if I see. This is my problem. I live in the world of paranoia. If I didn't see that thing, like those custody sales being open and stuff, I would be like, you're a way more trusted man than I.
No, I don't think there were any issues there. I think it was just bad luck. Yeah. And the fact that PSA is grading a little bit harsher than they used to.
Yeah. So do you think that PSA is grading harsher in like because other grading card companies are grading harsher? Do you think the actual grading scales, like, how do you explain that in a way that it makes sense? Because honestly, PSA should just be separate, right? Like we're PSA and CGC and Beckett and literally everyone else is that's all they are. They're everyone else. And we're the gold standard. We created the grading scales. And when you think about it, and with the PSA 10 grading scales, I'm sure you've read it before. It's like that real fine line and gem mint that there can be like very small imperfections.
Yeah.
So do you think it's like because other grading companies are grading harsher that they feel in turn they have to do it, or you just think it's like the graders have changed and stuff like that?
I think it's a combination. I think a big part of it has to do with CGC and the fact that CGC is finally starting to get into grading cards, because before CGC came along, PSA was not grading or designating any of these error cards. And then once CGC came along, started grading these cards, PSA turned around and said, "Hey, okay, we'll start accepting these cards again." So well, I think that does have some portion to do with it.
Well, their problem, like you said, but it wasn't that they weren't grading them; they kept flip flopping. Oh, we'll grade them this week, but we won't grade them. I think
exactly.
Now, I mean, did you run into any of that just with the no damage nine tails, like them grading it and then them not grading it?
I don't think I've ever graded. No, I did grade one. I graded one no damage nine tails myself through PSA. This was back in 2017, 2018. And back then they were just grading it as a shadowless nine tails. And then they finally caught on and stopped doing that. But then you'd have a few slip through here and there. But yeah, I've only ever graded the one through PSA.
Yeah, I always think I don't know. I don't like that they flip flop. Like there's a couple that I'm like on the fence about. Like I definitely understand the rationality of it, but like I'll give you an example, like the trophy cards. Okay, yeah. We don't want to grade trophy cards anymore because while we're not saying that the card itself is not authentic, we just can't, prove the lineage. Where did this card came from? Was it actually the winner? Did it sneak out the back door of the factory? Like I understand that thought process, but the only problem I have with that is that it's not going to stick. Like we're going to make this same video. If you ever come on the channel again, we talk in a year from now, we'll be like, yeah, so we just had some trophy cards graded because they wanted to do it last year. Like, I think that's the kind of stuff that drives me a little nuts.
I don't understand that whole situation of them not grading the trophy cards. I don't agree with that at all. I think as long as it's a legitimate, like actual authentic card, I don't think they should be in the business of deciding, okay, we're going to grade this one, we're not going to grade that one, so on and so forth.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make any sense, like why they would do that.
No, I like CGC's philosophy on that. They'll grade anything as long as it's a legitimate card.
Yeah, so I've now graded a decent amount with CGC. And I've gotten to the point now with grading. I have 2 returns still at CGC. I have 2 bulk submissions, one with subgrades, one without. So I have like my first bulk submission has like half subgrades, half without, and then my other bulk submission has no subgrades.
Yep.
But I have submitted all those before I had gotten like my first return back. And I'm at the point now where I'm just not going to submit to CGC anymore. And I'll give you an example of like cards that I currently have at CGC that I haven't submitted back. And the only reason I bring this up is because you had mentioned it in PokeGal's stream that, so obviously you know what these are, right?
Oh yeah. Yes.
You have like I would say you probably have one of the most complete like the theme deck sealed in the world, probably, with the exception you don't have the actual full box of sealed theme decks from Skyridge, do you?
I'm missing Skyridge and Legendary. Legendary Collection.
Yeah, Legendary Collection is going to be a tough one to find, especially with that no hollow Charizard and stuff. But
yep.
So anyways, when my channel was brand new, these were already open. Mm-hmm. So I took out the cards and I submitted them to CGC and I recorded a video And at the time I had like 200 subscribers. And I talked about like where I thought the Pokemon hobby would be in June. It is November. But in the video, that's when I thought I was going to get it back. And that submission, the bulk ones with subgrades, were all these Skyridge cards that were inside this deck. And I regret sending those because now I know in the future I'm just going to have to resubmit those all to PSA. But when I had sent all, and they were all, you know, minty. And
Yep.
I'm sure you know from like these theme decks that they're the only way like you can get Expedition energy cards too.
Yep.
Which a lot of people don't realize that like Expedition, yeah, it was the first, you know, like Expedition base set of the e-readers, and it has the energy cards, but you can't get them in the packs. So literally you can only get them through theme decks. And whether or not people are energy collectors, like that's the biggest, you know.
Well, they're tough to find, and they're relatively expensive for being basic energy cards.
Well, and that's why I like these, because like the Mind Machine one was literally the first ever theme deck that had 5 different types in it.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
So like if you look on the back, it was the only theme deck to ever have a 5 different type deck. Where
Okay.
like you see the Eevee only has a 3 type, and then the Mind, yeah. Oh wait, I'm sorry, it's a 6 type deck, not a 5 type.
Interesting.
So it has every single energy card from Expedition, and they're always like these. The quality of these things are freaking fantastic.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, I love the theme decks.
Yeah. So what made you like get into trying to complete like the actual full sealed cases of theme decks? And I'm guessing you have all like the gold strip shadowless ones.
I have 2 of the gold strip like the theme deck cases. I'm missing the gold strip 2-player starter deck case. I've never even seen one of those, like even a picture of one.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's some out there. I've just haven't seen that one. But yeah. Why I started collecting theme decks was just because booster boxes were too expensive. I'm very much a completionist. So if I started collecting booster boxes, I'd have to get them all. And even back when I started that collection, first edition base was out of my price range. At those boxes were like $10,000 back then. This would have been 2017-ish. And I knew I'd never be able to afford one of those boxes for my collection. So I went for the next best thing, which for me was the theme deck display cases.
I got a big pile of theme decks all open downstairs, but you know how it comes with the brick inside, but the brick's not open because I cracked them all to see if they were shadowless.
Oh yeah.
And then I like crack them. I'm like, okay, this isn't shadowless, but then I don't open the actual brick itself.
Yep.
I got a bunch of those downstairs, and I don't know. There was a while where you couldn't even sell those.
They were dirt cheap for a long time.
Now you can actually probably sell those. Like literally, I would crack one of those and be like, "This is worthless." I have created I've taken something that had value and now made it have no value.
Yep.
Thank God for 2020. I always say that people always make the joke. I say 2020 was the year that if anybody ever made a stupid decision in Pokemon, they were redeemed.
Yep.
You know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was like, it would be really hard to have made stupid decisions in 2017 and have them carry over to 2020. But so I know I talked about CGC a little bit. Like now that I'm guessing you have submitted way more than me, but you know, I'm guessing you're in the thousands maybe for cards you submitted. But how do you feel?
Yeah. Gotten back, it's probably around 1,000 at this point.
So have your thoughts changed or anything? Or I mean, because I'm seeing the prices like, you know, for some of the cards. So the PWCC, I don't know if you saw it, like a couple of those like the base set unlimiteds that sold for like $12. A couple of those like CGC 8s. A few of those cards were mine in the first CGC
Oh
auction. Yeah,
man.
a couple of those were mine, but I don't care because my price points for those cards were like pennies.
Yeah.
But it does. So I wasn't like super worried. But I funny because I see sometimes people will talk about like how cheap some of this shit went for, and I'm like, yeah, those were mine. But like, so have you started to see it like, and because at a point it has to take like not a financial toll, but like an emotional toll where you're looking at it and you're like, if this was a freaking PSA slab instead of a CDC slab, like I could sell this thing instantly.
Yep. Yep.
So how have you been handling that?
So when I first started submitting cards into CGC, I focused on like modern cards and then low end WotC cards, and then higher end WotC I stuck with PSA. But now I've always thought that CGC is going to become like the second best grading company. It'll always be PSA as number one. CGC will eventually, I think, be a close contender to PSA, and then it'll basically take BGS's spot.
Yeah, but I still would value a BGS 9.5 over a CGC 9.5 as of right now.
Really?
Yeah, even though I've now graded enough cards with CGC, and I've gotten 0 10s. Maybe on these next 2 returns, I'll get 10s, but I've gotten 0 back, which when you get used to, what would you say was like the average? Well, you can't really say that, but I would say like on average, the average PSA return for pack fresh cards, I've had like returns come back that was as high as like 60% PSA 10s.
Yeah.
Now to go from a, almost 60, and this is more pack fresh stuff, to go from a 60%, gem mint, okay, I'm going to get top value to this, to now 60% 8.5s, which is like somebody just kicks you in the nuts when you get those back, and you're just like, oh God, like, what do I do with this? Like, I could heat my house in the winter, but.
Exactly. No, I think back when CGC was cheap to submit to, back when they were like $10 a card with subgrades.
Oh yeah, that's when I submitted most. They're $7.20 with the discount. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think that's an issue. I think stuff that we submitted under that price point will do just fine.
Yeah.
But going forward, now that they're $20 or $25 a card with the subgrades, I don't think I'm going to be submitting much into them.
Yeah.
I have a few modern cards, mainly like alternate arts, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur from Celebrations, that type of stuff. I'll keep submitting into CGC, but for the most part, I'm just going to hold on to everything and wait for PSA to reopen.
Let me ask you a question though. For those, celebrations like the Charizard and stuff, was there a part of you that's like, let me test the market, let me send this to PSA, get it in quick, and see if I could dump it on the market before people like realize what the hell's going on? Like, was that little thing in the back of your head chirping, or no, you're just like, not.
I am kicking myself so much for that, because Celebrations came out the Friday, the day before the Pokemon Saves the World event.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got my Celebrations allocation that Monday, so almost 5 days before the actual release, and I was just so excited for the Vegas trip that I just kind of set those boxes aside and didn't do anything with them. But looking back now, I wish I had ripped open all those packs, started selling the cards, sent everything off to get graded with PSA. I really wish I had done that.
Yeah, I mean, for you, obviously you could do that, but I always warn people. I'm like, first to market is a hell of a game to play. You could either dominate or you could lose your ass. So like, it's all about time. And if you get that card back and you say, maybe I'll hold on to it for a week, you're already lost. Like,
exactly.
And who knows? that's one of those things that's never really changed too. Like why people always even now, like people do it to the extreme, but even when sets were coming out in the past, people were still paying crazy prices for, whatever the chase card of the new set was. And I could never understand that.
I've never understood that.
Never. Like
that does not make any sense to me whatsoever.
It's always, and I've talked about it in other videos too, like when we try to win auctions and you guys get outbid and you're like, but I put my max bid in and it was really like the high end, it was higher than previous sales. You have to like explain to people that there's just people out there that are much stupider than you and they will just, and it's like almost as if they have an unlimited supply of money. So
yeah.
And that's always tough. Have you been reading the chat at all? Any good questions?
I haven't been keeping up with the chat very much, actually. I gotta fix my screen here. Hold on, let me.
Let's see. I got Poke Knowledge. Do you think XY Evolution booster boxes will ever skyrocket again? I see the ETBs are worth about about a third of what a sealed booster box, which kind of baffles me. I will say yes, it should baffle you, especially because while booster boxes were not available to purchase anymore, those ETBs still were available to purchase. So
they were available for a long time.
Yeah, so for those to be a third, well, I don't even know if I want to tackle this subject because I feel like everybody's made it very clear about like evolutions being investable. It's not. It's not investable at $1,000, not investable at $700, not investable at $400, not investable at $300. I'll give you this. It's out of print, probably won't get printed again. Maybe you could buy it for $200. Like, go for it. $300. If you need it to complete your collection, $300, go for it. But do I think it's going to skyrocket again? I think that was a heavily manipulated event. There was a lot of people pumping up XY evolutions for their own personal gain. And if you guys didn't know what was happening, like it was the writing was on the wall. It was like somebody wrote, hey, today's episode, I'm going to shill XY evolutions. By the way, I got, 12 cases back there. So
yeah.
But
no, that was insane what happened with evolutions. Because everyone was so sick of that set.
Mm-hmm.
Until Pokemon announced that it was finally going out of print.
And people always like, well, I'm always like, I'm relatively good at timing the market, and I'm like a relatively decent read on the market. At least maybe I pretend to tell myself that. Maybe everybody else called me bullshit, but that was one of those things that I definitely got wrong. When those prices skyrocketed, I was wrong. I'll be the first to say I didn't really see that coming. It just didn't. It was so against the norm. It. No.
Oh. Because so that I'm trying to get the timing right here. It was either like May or June. I went back to my full-time job, so working on the ship. About a month into that trip, I got an email from my distributor saying that Pokemon had just announced last call for evolution, so they weren't going to be printing it anymore, and they were wondering if I wanted to buy any more. So I said, before I left for the trip, I had just sold all of my blister packs and booster boxes from evolutions because I finally gave up on evolutions, figured that it wasn't going to go anywhere. And so when I got this email, I said, I'll give it another shot, see where it goes. So I bought 10 cases and
good for you.
Not expecting it to take off the way it did.
Good for you.
The best part was I was away working during this whole time period. So I ordered the 10 cases and told my distributor, just hold on to them till I get back home.
Yeah.
Well, by the time I got back home, it was like October or November at that point, and the boxes were already $400 or $500 a piece.
They were still sitting on them for you?
Yeah, they had them sitting at the warehouse till I emailed them and said, hey, you can ship them.
Oh my God, that's like coming home to a winning lotto ticket on the refrigerator. You're like, I need to get off this ship because I got a lotto ticket. And you must have been looking at the time and been like, and the clock's ticking on this lotto ticket.
Oh, I sold them all off real quick.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Can I ask, like, what price point were you, I mean, when you got back, were they at, did they creep up to the high end of that $1,000, or they still?
No, I sold them all before that
Yeah.
happened. They were I sold them all between $400 and $500 a piece.
Oh, you still did great then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a home run.
Absolutely.
Good for you. So when did you get your, so obviously you just mentioned that you have a distributor agreement. When did you first start doing that?
That would have been maybe 2018. It probably was 2018. And it was just ordering small amounts of everything during the beginning. So a couple booster boxes here, a couple there. It wasn't ordering very much off of the get-go.
Yeah, so I don't have any kind of distributor agreements or anything, but early sorry, I got a notification.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry.
Yeah, the nice thing back then too of working with distributors back then is they actually had booster boxes available.
Yeah, and I wanted
like
to
you could have actually purchased previous sets going back. I forget how far going back, but at least the past couple sets were just readily available whenever you want to buy them.
Could you go all the way back? So 2018 brings it right to the beginning of Sun and Moon. Were you able to go back to like XY base, or were all those out?
Not that far back.
Yeah.
You were able to go back into a few of the XY sets, some of like the later XY sets.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think. So, I mean, I guess this kind of could bring us into a different topic, but you know, when people talk about modern right now, modern obviously always super risky and heavily printed, but I feel the people that have recently entered the hobby haven't really been around for when stuff truly goes out of print. So when you're living in the now, which is today, you know, so you have your battle styles, huge waves and chilling rain and evolving skies and all this stuff. Like when you live in the right now today is the same thing that we were living in 2018 with evolutions. It feels like this stuff will never go away and it will always be there. But it is kind of hard to pull yourself back a little bit and say, well, maybe in 2 years, we're going to be looking back and say, we fucked up. You know, but
yeah, no, I think there's definitely some potential with modern, but you do have to be careful because not every modern set is going to perform the same. You gotta think about what sets within like the standard rotation, like the current modern sets. What of those sets are people going to remember 5-10 years from now? They're not going to remember Rebel Clash, Battle Styles, anything like that.
This is my hot take. The sets that everyone thinks are going to be investable will not be investable, because that's be the sets that everybody buys and collects and hold on to. The sets that everyone thinks will not be investable will in fact be investable. That's my hot take, and nobody could call me out on my bullshit for the next 5 years. I'll see you guys in 2026.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do a reunion chat.
Yeah. The 5 year reunion and then I'll just have like a king throne of battle styles booster boxes I'll sit on, like a Game of Thrones with like the swords sticking out, but they're battle styles booster boxes.
No, I don't. I think that's about all your battle styles boxes will be good for, is making a throne.
Making furniture out of them. All right. So the reason why I had you on this channel, like one of the big reasons, and I talked about it a little bit with you before we started the stream, is I have so much respect for what you do because you grind Pokemon. And people out there who might be listening to this video right now, they might not truly understand what it means to really grind Pokemon. And you grind Pokemon. So just, can you like give us a little bit like, what's the day in the life of you like? Because it's gotta be a pretty like intensive eBay listing and sorting through stuff and, you know.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. We were talking before we went live, and I was saying how one of these days, coming up soon, I want to give it a shot, is actually like, because I do a lot of videos saying, kind of like promoting selling bulk and selling individual cards and saying how you can make extra money off of it. But I do want to do like a flip side to that video and say I do pretty well selling these bulk type cards individually, but here's how much time I spend per week doing that, and kind of record how much time I spend on eBay every single day doing certain tasks, and kind of convert that into an hourly wage. And I think that'd be kind of a cool video. But on a typical day, I am not a morning person whatsoever. So I'll normally wake up 9:30. Pretty much right when I wake up, I go on to eBay, answer all my eBay messages, answer all the best offers, start packaging orders. Normally, recently, I've been doing pretty good. I'm back up to like 40, 50 orders a day, which is awesome. Was down there pretty low back in September. But so yeah, 40, 50 orders a day. That usually, between answering all the messages, packaging orders, going to the post office, that usually takes me right up till about lunchtime. So like 12 o'clock or so. Take a quick lunch break, have lunch, and then the afternoon just depends upon what I have going on. It's either taking pictures, getting stuff listed, sorting through cards, stuff like that. But that'll usually go till, say, like 1 to 5. I'll take a couple of hours off with the family for dinner, watch some TV with them till about maybe 8 or 9. And then I'll do a little bit more, sorting through cards, getting stuff listed from 9 till about midnight or so.
Like, do you have a number in your mind where you're just like, ideally I want to list X amount of cards per day? Are you trying to just more or less replenish what you sold for the day? Because that, when you're doing 50 sales a day, you're talking, hundreds of sales a week. Like, there's got to be a constant just, I gotta replace this. I gotta replace this.
Well, the vast majority of my listings have a lot of quantity in them. And so you can just update the quantity on those listings, which makes the process a lot easier.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a daily count of how many listings I want to get up, I don't really do too much with that. I more so have a longer term personal goal where I really want to beat out Rusty in terms of like how many listings he had at his peak when he was doing bulk cards, which was he had around 8,000 listings.
Why would you want to do that? I don't know why anyone would want to do that.
That's my ultimate goal right there. 8,001 listings. And
you're gonna have to just make a video on just how you inventory all this stuff. So at the very peak of Pokemon, so I have sent the wrong package to somebody one time. And at the very peak of Pokemon, I did it. I sent somebody thank God it was a $33 slab. I just let them keep it. I didn't even ask for it back. I didn't do anything. I said it was a Magikarp on a base set unlimited Magikarp. That's what it was. And I just let them keep it. And I ended up sending them, the right one. But how do you, and that was because at the time I was doing a bunch of auctions. How are you able to just, rifle through thousands of cards and listings? Do you have an amazing way to organize stuff?
I am very organized, almost to a fault. I keep all my eBay inventory separate from my kind of stuff that I haven't gone through yet. Like all the stuff behind me is stuff that I have to go through at some point. And kind of get processed. But once I take a box out and kind of start working on that, I organize everything by set. WotC sets are already numbered alphabetically by the rarity, so I just organize them numerically by the rarity. Modern sets I do by the set, by the rarity, and then alphabetically. So it's not numerical order with modern sets. But I found that to be the best way to do it. And it's mainly just a lot of those monster boxes, those 5-row monster boxes.
Yeah, what are those, like 5,000 cards each?
Yeah. They hold a lot more than that with
Yeah,
Pokemon cards.
they do.
Yeah.
I think that the reason they hold more, I think like I think they're more made for sports cards.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think it's just a thickness issue.
Yep. Yeah,
When you
Pokemon
talk,
cards are a lot thinner.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of those boxes, a lot of 6-foot tables to put those boxes on. And then they make these like, I don't have any down here, but they're almost like plastic index cards that you can use as dividers for
Okay. Yeah.
I use those too. But I used to record a lot of my YouTube videos upstairs in my office. And then I stopped doing that and I started recording them all down here. That's because my office has turned into an organized hoarder's room. There is very little space up there right now.
Organized chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I always laugh. Like I feel you definitely have way more bulk than I do, but it's always amazing when I'll go back and I'll look at stuff and be like, oh, I didn't know I had this, or I forgot I had this. And you must go through that or you're probably I never knew I owned this. Where I might forget I own it, you never knew in the first place.
That's happened. It doesn't happen very often. Maybe on like bulkier type stuff that's really not worth much, but it doesn't happen very often on like higher end things like $20-$50 cards. Every once in a while it will happen. There's been a few times where I found like a $50-$100 card that I didn't even know I had.
So more on the bulkier stuff. What do you think about like more of the bulkier, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but more, or maybe even like the later Diamond and Pearl stuff? Because I've been trying to find some of this in bulk, and I have just not been able to find. You could pick up like small, like 36 card lots on eBay and stuff, but nothing like what I'm actually looking for.
Yeah.
And I've run into a lot of issues like this. And to segue that, I tried to ask it in a stream the other night, but some of the Heart Gold, Soul Silver promos, the Pikachu promo that came in the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, the 3-pack blister, that Pikachu promo, like, I really like that Pikachu. And I tried to pick up some sealed, and prices for those products just went stupid.
Yeah.
And they don't come up very often too. But more back to the bulk question. Have you been seeing a lot of like that type of bulk, or people still have it tucked away and that hasn't really made it out yet?
This was probably back over early summer. I bought, it was like 10,000 Diamond and Pearl through Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
That would have been my ideal buy.
Commons and uncommons. And those have actually been doing really, really well for me.
I think they would do fantastic because there's just not a lot of it out there. They're hard to find.
And there's not many people selling those types of cards either.
And I'm talking the bulk, not the hits. The hits you could, go ahead, type in level X or type in Prime on eBay and you're going to be fine. But it's when it comes to the bulkier stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's none that are super valuable.
No.
Or at least for the most part. For the most part,
I think they will.
I can definitely see that. Especially
we will get to a point, but we're far from it.
Yeah.
But how were you able? You just was it a random listing you came across, or you knew somebody that was sitting on 10,000 bulk?
No, that was just a Facebook purchase. So someone purchased that or listed that in one of the Pokemon Facebook groups, and they said they were going to do like claim sales of individual cards. And I reached out to them and said, if you don't want to do the hassle of doing all these different claim sales, I'd offer you, I think we agreed to like 12.5 cents a card on those. And I bought everything off of them.
Yeah, I think and then this is the thing too, is I think all that exists in bulk. I do believe that there's a lot of people sitting on, that bulk, but that's not really what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm not able to find it.
Yeah, no, it's really tough to find.
And people don't understand there's a very big difference between something not existing and finding it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yep.
and big collections like that I've been looking for, and I just haven't. And if I do find them, they're definitely just not worth it to purchase.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I haven't found any more since that one. And I've been looking obviously now that I know it can sell well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't found a single one since then.
Yeah. There's almost like in the back of your head, you're just like, if you knew what you knew right now about like how the market is, and yes, the market's definitely retracing, but there's still a lot of cards that are selling for a lot more than they were. If you had a time machine, like how much do you wish you could have sent to PSA? Like remortgage your house, you know, take every piece of equity you have out of your house, sell your card,
Yep.
sell everything, and just send everything to PSA and just have a ton of, because it's those real niche-y type cards that when there's like a pop 3, even though there's a million cards out there, but it's still a pop 3, it's going to have like a $20 premium for a 12.5-cent card.
Yep, exactly.
Like that's what I try to explain to people. I'm like, you want to make money in Pokemon, you don't buy a Charizard for $300 and sell it for $400. That's not how you make money in this hobby. You buy a 12.5-cent card, spend $7 to grade it, and sell it for $20. That's how you make your money, you know?
Exactly.
But that's what you do. That's how you grind, and you're definitely you understand that. You're like, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
But,
yeah, no, that is definitely one of my biggest regrets though, is I wish I sent so much more off to PSA back before they shut down.
I even though the turnaround times were going nuts and everything was happening, I still was like, you know what? PSA, they won't shut down. They're just going to keep growing. There's too much money. That's what I kept saying. Like, there's just too much money they're going to leave on the table. Too much money, too much money. And then they just hard shut the door down. But then they also prove like people will pay $300 or $600 a card to have stuff graded too. So obviously PSA is now a private company, but it would be interesting if like they could be a little more transparent about their books and stuff. And are they losing as much money as we think they're losing, or are they still doing okay?
Oh, I think they're doing just fine.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure there's, 26, 30 people, whatever, watching this video. I'll probably out of those 30 people, every single person has a pile of cards that they have been slowly accumulating, getting ready to send the PSA. When they do open up those low tiers, who knows how low they could go, but let's just say $20. You imagine the floodgates that's going to open at like a $20 tier.
Yep.
Because like it's going to be, and I'm a big slab cracker. Like I'm a strong believer, and there's a lot of values out there because it takes a lot of time to search eBay and find truly mint cards worth it for grading.
Yep.
And even those really truly mint cards, like sometimes you get them and you just like, shit, I missed this, or I missed this, or I couldn't see this. Even like the real good photos, sometimes some stuff will get by you.
Oh yeah.
But to have like a CGC 9 or honestly just a anybody 9, put 3 letters together, ABC QRX grading. If it's graded a 9 and you can see the card, and a lot of them have like high quality digital scans, you could pull up the card and look at it. There could be a ton of value in the future for cracking slabs.
Oh yeah, no, if you have the time to go on eBay and look for cards that were low graded, that have potential to upgrade, there's definitely some potential there. Even cards that you get back yourself and just crack them out, resubmit them. There is definitely potential to make money there, but it takes a lot of time.
Well,
I do not have that kind of time.
Well, that's the thing too, is time when it comes to right now for PSA, you're talking in all hypotheticals.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, Yeah, I think it's going to come a point too where people are going to, I don't know. It is funny in this hobby that you have so many people that are waiting on some of these PSA returns to make like $10 a card.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's like, oh shit, like I just wasted a year and a half of my life waiting for this card to come back to make $10. but,
but hey, that $10 adds up after a while.
Oh yeah. Well, it adds up because I don't know, till it gets spent on something else. So what's your favorite set personally? I know you said so first edition base, I'm guessing.
No, actually Shadowless Base.
Oh,
Shadowless Base is by far my favorite set.
Yeah. I gotta maybe one day I'll bring it up. I have a bunch of graded Shadowless cards I want you to look at. So.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah. I got an entire full base set completed graded 1 through 112. Not all of them are Shadowless though, but I'd say probably 65% of them are Shadowless graded. So
sweet. There you go.
Yeah. Maybe me and you were bidding against each other, not knowing it.
Yeah, I have a lot of Shadowless, still bulk cards, no hollows, but commons and uncommons that are just sitting in boxes that I wish I had sent off to PSA.
Yeah,
because they're all 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point I'll be able to.
10s for Shadowless get a little dicey once in a while.
Yeah,
they're out of the three, they're definitely the hardest to grade, which doesn't make sense if you think about it, because like I always thought that first edition and Shadowless were printed at the same time all those sheets came out, and then they just selected some sheets as slap the first edition stamp on it, so it doesn't make sense why the Shadowless ones are so much harder to grade.
No, it doesn't make
the only thing that could maybe make sense is they had all those and they like cherry picked those sheets and found the better sheets maybe to slap the first edition stamps on it, but that's, who knows.
I doubt it. They weren't thinking about condition. They were just thinking about pumping those cards out.
Well, they were probably thinking this Pokemon game is never gonna last.
Exactly.
You ever see any of the old Wizard of the Coast interviews where they talk about the people and they're like, yeah, somebody asked me if I want to be part of it, and I thought I was being demoted or potentially fired, so I said okay. And then Pokemon ended up becoming what it is.
Yeah, no, I love watching those old videos. Even news clips about Pokemon back in the day. It's just so funny to watch that kind of stuff.
So if you go on my channel, you can look at I think the title of the video is Pokemon is Wrong or something, but it's an article from 2004, I believe, and it was printed in Arizona Times, one of those random newspapers, but and they talk about the first edition Charizard card having a peak of $400 and crashing down to less than 100. And as you read this article, and the whole article is just talking about how Pokemon died, and they're talking about Charizard first edition cards being less than $100, and I'm just like, no one knew. No one.
Nope.
And that's why I always say to people, I'm like, if anybody tells you they really knew. I think a lot of us thought there would be the gradual trajectory of Pokemon will go up over time. But if anyone says they foresaw what happened, it's full of shit.
Exactly.
I think maybe you saw it a little bit more than everyone else as I look behind you and your wall of cards.
No, I honestly did not. I could have never expected this to happen.
Yeah.
No, I thought this was always just going to be a fun side business for me. I never considered going full time with it until recently. Back in, it was 2019 is when I finally started thinking about going full time with this.
Yeah. So when you were working on the ship, were you doing a 30 on, 30 off, something like that, or?
No, I was doing it was either 90 or 120 days. So 90 to 120, depending upon where in the world we were at that time. and then you come back home for 90 to 120.
Oh, so you're working like, 4 months on, 3 months off. Yeah, that I could see how you'd want like a little side gig for something like that. Keep you from
Oh,
going.
it gets so boring having that much time off if you don't have
Yeah.
anything to do.
Yeah, when I was working the oil field, we used to work 30 and 15s. So,
Okay.
so I could relate a little bit. And when I got into Pokemon was when I was working in the oil fields,
Yep.
North Dakota. So I know exactly how you feel. And yeah, it's funny when you like the way I got into it was not really for even that much for like the financial aspect of it. And mine was just I wanted to like complete some of these collection goals from when I was a kid. And
Yep.
then I just realized, like everybody else, oh, if I buy this lot of cards, I could sell these 1 or 2 cards and have all the rest for free.
Yep.
And then that just becomes more and more. And then you get these collections in and you don't sell them all. And you stick them in a corner. And then it starts with a shoebox. And then it goes to a bigger box and a bigger box. And then you run out of room. And then and then you run out, then you stick it in the corner of your room, and then that gets too much. Then it goes in your basement, and it just keeps growing until you're like, what have I done? And then your wife's like, when are you going to sell these? And you're like, shut up, I am.
Exactly. No, it's so true though.
Yeah.
Cards just start taking over every room in the house.
Yeah. So what's I mean, obviously you opened a little bit of modern recently, right? You opened a couple. What was the last set you really went hard at?
Celebrations. That was such
Okay.
a fun set to open.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually really like opening modern sets to sell the single cards. But lately it's not worthwhile to do that.
Yeah.
Because you could just get the boxes from distributor, sell the boxes for, at one point it was like double what you paid for the boxes. It's come back down since then, but yeah, so it really wasn't worth it for me. The last like mass opening that I did was with Battle Styles, and then actually no, I did Chilling Reign too. So yeah, I did Battle Styles, Chilling Reign. I completely skipped over Evolving Skies. Fusion Strike I skipped over too, just to sell the sealed boxes. But at some point, hopefully with this next set that comes out in 2022, be able to get back to actually opening the boxes and selling the single cards, because I actually really enjoy doing that.
Yeah,
I have a lot of fun doing that.
Have you looked at Brilliant Stars at all? What do you think about like them bringing back the full art character cards?
I haven't looked at that set very much at all. No.
What's like your favorite modern set? And I guess we'll just limit it to like Sun and Moon era and Sword and Shield.
My favorite Celebrations is by far my favorite. But
okay.
If you're looking at like a standard set, I finally opened an Eevee Heroes box, which that set was a lot of fun, but that's Japanese. English, I like Hidden Fates. That's another really fun set. And then Vivid Voltage, I like too.
All right. And this is a big segue, and you just said Japanese sets. Okay. You want to know what my favorite Japanese set is? And
What's
it's
that?
going to sound so stupid.
Oh boy.
And you ready for a real stupid take? I want to say it was the it's 2002 McDonald's promo cards from Japan. The e-reader ones. It was like the Charmander, you got the Squirtle with the bubble out of his mouth.
Yep.
The Bulbasaur actually like makes a McDonald's. I loved opening those Japanese packs. They were like so much fun. And even like the hollow energies. But you probably never find anybody to say that that's their favorite Japanese set. It's like almost embarrassing.
I was not expecting that one.
No, it's embarrassing, right? But I don't know why. It was such a niche thing. And then they were cheap too. And now
back in the day, yeah, for sure.
They're not cheap anymore.
No, that ship has sailed.
No, nothing's cheap anymore.
But no, the
Which
artwork on those cards is nice. I like those cards.
yeah, even like the Charmander where he's kind of like sitting down. Like I like the hollow patterns. It's just, but it is a very weird niche. I'm not a big Japanese collector to begin with, though.
I'm
I
not either. I've recently started to get into it a little bit. I actually just bought a whole bunch of like the later Sun and Moon and the whole Sword and Shield era, a whole bunch of Japanese booster boxes, and I'm gonna try and break those down in individual packs and see how that does selling individual packs. But then as far as like my collection, I did buy a few Eevee Heroes boxes just to sit on. I've bought a few Japanese promos just because like cool artworks, like the Charizard illustrator, stuff like that. But outside of that, I really don't do too much with Japanese.
so like the newer Japanese. What about like the more vintage? You like any like mid-vintage Japanese hollow or Japanese promos?
I have a Korokoro Mew, which I love that one, the shiny Mew. I've got a Grand Party. That's an awesome card. The CD promos, the Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Love the artwork on those ones. I think that's all I've got though for Japanese.
Yeah, I got a couple of Japanese promos, but I don't know. I like promos when I know like the backstory to them and I know where they came from. And this is only the thing I always talk about Japanese, and I always try to explain to people on this channel is it is really hard to understand like the Japanese equivalent to English cards unless you really do your research. But once you do your research, you could understand. But like the way these cards were released were just so different than the English counterparts. That's what I always try to just tell people.
Yeah.
And I think we really saw everybody was like, oh, do you think Japanese was undervalued and that it really like went crazy in 2020 because people were moving towards Japanese? I'm like, no, I just think people didn't realize what they were buying and they saw the cheaper counterparts, but they didn't realize like it's cheaper for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And the reason it's cheaper isn't just because people don't like Japanese as much, but it's also not true across the board either. There's some Japanese stuff that's really rare too. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's why I like just try to like stay away from it, because you can go down that rabbit hole and talk about it forever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, overall, I'm definitely more so an English collector than a Japanese.
Yeah. So anybody who's watching this live, if anybody's asked questions, I haven't really been following the chat. So if you want to just rewrite your questions again on the bottom of the chat, we'll do my best to answer them. But I appreciate all you guys coming on.
Yeah, no, it's cool to have everyone here. I like it. 38 people in here. I like it.
Yeah, a bunch of people here.
I know basic trainer. I saw his question. Is a brick and mortar store in your sights? I actually one of a friend of mine, or he actually opened up a coin shop locally, and I rented out a portion of his store, so a couple tables to set up in there and do cards. We actually just opened that, so I'll be curious to know how that goes. That'll be a fun little experiment. But in terms of my own shop, that would be really cool one day in the long-term future. But for now, definitely not going to happen.
All right. So Basic says Poke Knowledge. Oh, I'm sorry. Which losing card hurt the most being sniped at auction? Oh my God. I gotta write a novel for how many cards I lost sniped at auction. Oh my God. Which card has hurt the most though? I gotta think about that question for a little bit, Australian Blastoise, because when you lose cards that get sniped at auction, it really only like lingers with you for like a day or two until you go back and like, I don't know. You want to try to answer that question?
Semi back maybe a month or so ago, I had a PSA 8 no damage nine tails on my watch list, and I got the notification on my phone saying the auction was ending in 15 minutes. And I'm one of those people who always wait till the last like 30 seconds to put my bid in. And I always do it myself. I don't use like Gixin or anything like that to do automatic bidding. So I got the notification on my phone saying the auction's ending in 15 minutes. So I hop on my phone, start watching the last 15 minutes, kind of looking at my phone every couple minutes, then going back to the TV or whatever. And I just completely missed that auction and wasn't even able to bid on it. And it sold for like $1,500, which I thought was an absolute steal. And I was so bummed out about that.
So I do have something that's relatively recently. Again, I'm always buying Skyrocket lots. It was like an 80 card lot, had a bunch of non-hollow rares, didn't have any hollows in it, but it had like the non-reverse hollow Pikachu, just the regular common. Buy it now, price $80. Had like 15 minutes left on it. Must have been a 24-hour auction this guy put up. He must have paid like the extra $1 to make it a one-day auction. And it had a buy it now option of $80, like $1 a card. And I was like, oh, there's 15 minutes left. It was like at $30. I'm like, and so if something has 0 bids on it on eBay, as soon as you bid on it, you get rid of that buy it now. So I'm like, I don't want anybody to buy it for 80. I'm just going to bid like $30 real quick, and I'm going to be able to snipe this. So I bid it. Clock starts ticking. 3 minutes comes. There's like a little bit of action, and it reaches up to like $40. And I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have been greedy. I should have just did the $80, buy it now, and I should have did it. So I put my max bid as $85, and I lose it for 90. I ended up selling higher than the buy it now that I got rid of.
Oh, that stings right there.
That happened pretty recently, and I want to say like I lost a little sleep on that one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Those ones hurt right there.
Yeah, but do you know what I'm talking about? Like if it has a buy it now, you bid on it and you just like try to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I do that a lot so people don't like steal auctions from me.
Yeah, exactly. And it works sometimes. It just does not work other times.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. I don't know. But that was a good question. Thanks a lot for bringing it up. Old
now you won't be able to sleep tonight either.
Yeah. Without doing a bunch of research, what is considered a low pop PSA 10 card or a hard to grade card? You don't have to do a lot of research. All you got to do is go into Google, type in PSA pop report, and then type in the set name. And then that's it. It's not a lot of work. It's like 3 clicks away. And then to answer your question, like what is considered a low pop PSA 10 or a hard to grade card? The only way you know which one is like harder to grade is you look at the 9s compared to the 10s. So let's say you have a card that has 50 cards graded and you have 49 PSA 9s, but only 1 PSA 10. You would say that card is a harder card to grade because your likelihood of getting a PSA 10 is a 1 out of 50 chance, pretty much. Yeah. So that's I thinking that's how you asked your question. So it's pretty simple, right? Like, you got anything to add to that?
No, that's how I would have answered it. Just like pop really, I can't stand people on eBay or Facebook or wherever who write like pop 1 on some card that nobody in the world's gonna grade.
Nope. Yeah.
So obviously it's gonna be a pop 1 because you're the only idiot who graded that card.
Yeah.
But as far as like hard to grade cards, I would love to see a pre-release Fable as a PSA 10 just to see what that card would sell for. Because if you guys don't know, there's no PSA 10s in the pop report right now. And I highly doubt there ever will be, just because the back corners almost or basically always have whiteness on them. So the cutting was poor on those cards. But I would love to see a PSA 10 of one of those. And I think that's the toughest card to grade.
Yeah. Well, not really pre-release Clefable, but for the pre-release Raichu, do you think that is a real card or do you think that is a fake card?
I think the story behind that is so there's like so many versions of that story. I think there's an actual pre-release Raichu that someone at the factory stamped with the pre-release stamp.
I think there's three of them.
I think it was intentional versus just a mistake that happened.
Yeah, I think it was intentional, and
Yep.
I think that it will not become real until the people that don't want it to be real own that card. And once the people that say that that card is not real, once they own that card will become very real, and it will become real fast. It will be on E4, it'll be on the E4 Discord, and it will be listed for $1 million on eBay. You know, like that's when that card will become real.
Yep, exactly.
Anything else you're seeing in the chat?
Let's see. Let me get back to the chat.
Right away. Fusion Strike Metapod has a crazy low PSA pop. Pre-release Clefable is my favorite card. No 10s, only 9s. Yeah, we were just talking about that. That's it. You know, Basic Trainer, I find that pretty interesting that that's your favorite card. I bet you could poll 100 people and not one of them would say that. Here we go again.
I figured Bulbasaur would have to be his favorite card.
Yeah, right. I bet he's loaded. He's probably got a bunch of $30,000 Bulbasaurs.
Oh God, I could not believe that. What an idiot.
When you talk about what are things that we're going to take out of 2020, that will be one of them. That $30,000 Bulbasaur will outlive us all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, he is never gonna live that one down.
Have you ever met him?
I have not. No,
but you did buy a first edition pack from him inadvertently. No,
he is one person I could go without ever meeting.
Yeah,
he does not sound like something that I would get along with very good.
Yeah, Mr. Clean with his magic erase markers. Trying to turn base set 2 repacks into. All right, let's talk. Can we talk about that? The first Dumb Money booster box that they opened for the first edition that obviously was resealed.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking that much money, why wouldn't you have done a better resale job?
That is, I could not tell you there.
Like, why put modern shit in there? Just like we kind of talked about it earlier in this video. Like, if you're gonna do that resale, do it right.
But then you're not people who are doing these resales and doing that type of stuff don't have the money to put however much. So like first edition WotC base set cards, they don't have the money to put those types of cards in the box.
You could do a PSA 8, PSA 9 resale for 70 grand, and you could sell that box for 240.
Yeah, but I don't think the people who are doing the resales have the 70 grand to put into that box.
Yeah.
So the cheaper they can make it, the better.
Lazy.
As long as that seal looks good and the weight of the box is good and stuff, all that other stuff there, that's all they care about.
Yeah, that was one of those things that sale I didn't even know was happening or anything, and I didn't know about it until like way after the fact. Like I didn't know it went live stream or anything. So did you know that was happening?
I was away. I was away working during that whole time period, and there were a lot of things that I would because like on the ship that I was on, E4 didn't work, eBay didn't work for me, so really the only Pokemon news that I could get was off of Facebook. So I'd be on Facebook one day and I'd hear a little snippet here, and then a couple days later I'd hear another little snippet there, and then friends texted me back and forth. So I was just so out of the loop for that whole thing. But the stories behind that whole like the old guy having 3 boxes and a gun in a gun safe or whatever the story was.
Yeah.
That whole story made no sense to me.
Like people can't
there
even
were a
come up
lot
with
of
good
fishy
stories.
things on that.
It says my obsession with base set Raichu makes him laugh because the first slab I bought was a Dark Raichu card. Dark Raichu, first ever secret rare, not bad.
Yes. Although Team Rocket was a set that got me out of Pokemon back in the day, back in the 90s, early 2000s. That was the last set I opened.
The first edition Ivy Pikachu, the Black Star promo number 1. Do you consider that a secret rare, or do you just consider that like a fluke thing?
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't consider that a secret rare. I really do wish that Rusty TCA Gaming, back a couple of years ago, he actually had that like prototype jungle blister pack. It's listed on eBay right now for like 250,000. That was originally Rusty's, and I really wish he had opened that because I would love to know what was inside there. Because on the pack itself it says search for exclusive promo or Pikachu promo or something like that, basically hinting at that first edition Ivy Pikachu.
So it's funny you say that. I forgot about that pack, but now once you talk about it, I remember it. I didn't even know that was up on eBay right now.
Yeah, no, the guy has it for some absurd price.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a Scott Pratt flex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And if the prices come even like within $1 million, you just jack it up another $1 million. I haven't gotten to that point, but I do love those flexes, you know? It's like, oh, you want this Illustrator Pikachu, huh? Well, it's going to be $3 million. You know, I think of that scene in Austin Powers with Dr. Evil where he just is like, 1 billion budget, and he just makes up like a super long number. Like that's how some of those prices on eBay are.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of those just for show listings on eBay.
Yeah. Did you do any of that? Do any of the for show or no?
I've thought about doing my No Damage Ninetales collection, just to see if I can get any more people to message me on eBay about selling more of those, because I'd like to buy more of those, and then just to drive traffic to my eBay store as well. But I haven't done anything like that yet.
Yeah, Basic Trainer just said Bulbasaur is my favorite starter, but his favorite Pokemon is Aerodactyl. Hey, Basic Trainer, if you like the pre-release Clefairy, you'll definitely like the pre-release Aerodactyl, the first edition pre-release that there is 1 bazillion of those cards out there.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of those pre-release Aerodactyls.
There's a lot of those, and then there's a crap ton of the Dark Gyarados and Misty Seadra.
Yeah. Definitely. Who was it? Max Mofo made the Dark Gyarados pre-release video where he just was like, "This is my favorite card." It was like a 30-minute long video of him just flipping through pre-release Gyaradoses. It was like 30 minutes, and he just had it was like a stack, and he was just going through them like, "I like this card. Ooh." But real quick, speaking about your eBay store, I know the recording on this video is the day before Thanksgiving, but on Friday you're doing a little Black Friday deal, huh?
I cannot wait. I'm super excited for that.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been working way too hard the past couple weeks trying to get a ton of stuff listed on eBay, and so for starting midnight Friday, between Thursday and Friday, gonna be doing a 25% off sale for my entire eBay store for the entire weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Really excited to see if sales increase, because this will be the first time in a couple of years that I'm actually home for Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, and after this video is over, I'll definitely put a link for your eBay store in the description. that is beyond my capabilities as a YouTuber to do live stream, but I'll definitely put a link for your eBay store. You got it. So obviously you got a ton of listings. You got any of the like big heavy hitters that come to the top of your mind that you just like, this is why people come to my store?
Well, I do have a lot of basic trainer auctions going on right now, ending Sunday. And then just got a whole bunch of CGC cards, some decent ones in there. So those are all on eBay right now. But yeah, no, just a lot of variety there.
So you got all those. I know you did obviously you had 40,000 first edition commons, uncommons. Do you have a lot of those cards up for?
Those I've got pretty much almost every WotC common and uncommon listed.
What do you have them listed at?
So like unlimited base, I do the uncommons for $2.49, the commons for $1.99.
No, I meant for the first edition CGC grade ones.
Oh, first edition.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, I'll take them all, please. I was about to end this stream.
No, I think I have CGC 9 commons listed for $60 and then uncommons for $100.
Do you have best offers on any of those?
Yeah, no, everything above $10 on my store has best offer. And I do accept a lot of offers too.
You want to give them a Poke Knowledge subscriber discount? Tell them right now, send you an offer for $55. You'll take it, $50.
Oh, go for it. Absolutely.
He's like, just send the offers to me. Just send them all. You want them all? Send them.
Yeah, my phone's gonna start blowing up here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you get a lot of those people will message you on either eBay or Instagram and say, hey, I saw your YouTube video, I'm interested in that card? Do you get a lot of those? Or
I get a few of those, not too many actually though. I do get a lot of people who buy something on eBay and then leave a note at checkout just saying, hey, love your YouTube channel, watch your videos, something like that. That's real cool right there.
Yeah.
And I do get a decent amount of people who reach out about collections that they want to sell. Say, hey, I watch your channel. Do you have any interest in such and such a card?
Yeah, I need to get to that point where some people could start reaching out, but you get a lot of people see, I don't want to do that because I'm going to undercut them and I'm not going to give them top dollar for their collection. So I don't even want to like open that door. Does that make sense? Does that sound like me?
It makes sense, but I think you should, because there's definitely some good opportunities out there. I never buy collections at market. You gotta make some money. So I normally, for like bulk type collections, with like bulk hollows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I normally offer like 60% of market. For graded cards, I'll do 65 to 70%. Sealed product, obviously, you have to be higher than that. But yeah, I'm usually between 60 and 70% of whatever the eBay sold listings are.
What do you do? So you deal with any like more vintage sealed product, or you mainly just stick?
Very little.
Yeah. What do you see most of? You just see all like the Wizard of the Coast stuff. You don't see a lot of anything else, huh?
Occasionally I'll get a small like EX era collection. Little bit of modern here and there, like just bulk V's, V Maxes, stuff like that. But for the most part, it's WotC.
Yeah, I like definitely like a part of my collection that's lacking the most is definitely like sealed product for all like a lot of the diamond and pearl stuff, and like especially in the blister area. Like I have almost nothing for a lot of these sets, and it is not worth it to buy any of this stuff. It's
expensive for sure.
Like it is not worth it. Like, I feel there's like nothing I could do at this point too. So
yeah, no. I speaking of blisters, I wish I was collecting blisters a while back, a couple of years back, and I finally gave up on that collection just because some of the e-readers and legendary collection were super hard to find. And so I finally gave up on that collection. But
how about when you get a blister and you go to take it out to look at it and the fucking front of it falls off on you? Have you ever had that happen?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Got a nice shadowless one and it fell right off.
Yep.
And then obviously I was like, oh, this is obviously resealed, and it wasn't. It was just me like not storing stuff properly. I don't even know how much that probably cost me, a couple $100.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So now I just stick with the booster packs. I love doing the pack collection.
All right. So Ernesto said, question: what do you do if you pull a modern alternative art? It depends which alternative art it is, Ernesto. Are you pulling the chase card of the set? Because then I'm gonna send it to PSA and try to sell it immediately on the market if I could time it right. If I can't time it right, I don't know anymore. Welcome. I just know, oh, this is real nice. I think about sending it to CGC and then I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if you pull like a decent alternative art chase card, it might just be, if you are looking for the money aspect, it's just worth it to sell it raw, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, there's going to be no headache involved in that. So.
Yeah, no, it depends upon when you actually pull it. Like if it's a brand new set that's just come out, I would either just immediately sell it raw or get it graded and then sell it. If it's something that you want for your personal collection, obviously just hold on to it. But if it's something that something like, say you pulled the sleeping Tyranitar from Battle Styles today, I wouldn't get that graded. I would sell that as being raw.
Yeah, I would sit on that card.
It does have a good artwork on it.
Because I'll tell you what, that card, for Battle Styles being as low as it is right now per booster box, and for that card, it's still holding strong. What, at like $90, I would say?
Yeah.
I think that will be a card that won't, maybe it's probably too early to say, but there's a chance that that card like doesn't drop drastically enough. You know, like, do we ever see $70 for that card, $50 for that card? Like for me, that's just worth it to take the risk. Like the difference between 90 and 50 for a card like that for me, and it kind of hurts too that I really like that card, that I would be okay with like taking a $40 loss and just having it be in my collection.
Yeah.
I could see if PSA opens at lower tiers, send that card away. That card at a PSA 10, I think you could probably do okay with that. But like Nick said too, you sell that right away, you make your $90 and there's no question about that card.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's one of the alternative art cards that people think about. When you think about cards of sets, when you think about alternative arts, that is definitely one you think about. But Pokemon, while they were doing alternative arts right for like set after set, they kind of fell off a little bit. Definitely with Fusion Strike, there's some alternative art cards that aren't like crazy.
You don't like the Gengar?
No, I do like the Gengar, but everyone likes the Gengar. I like the Gengar, I like the Mew.
Yeah,
but that's kind of it.
Yeah, now Fusion Strike was kind of a lackluster set.
The Celebi though, the alternative art, they did it.
I did like the Celebi. Yep.
It was the Japanese promo.
Yep.
Yeah, I have 2 of those in the basement.
I think they should have timed it a little bit better between Celebrations and Fusion Strike. That was way too soon after Celebrations, because I got my whatever the lunchbox tins are called for Celebrations. I got those tins with my or no, it was like a week before, but almost the same time as my my Fusion Strike product.
Yeah, I know those tins were running late for.
Yeah,
I know like big box retail got those right away, but yeah, for like, I guess for you, you would call it more like the LGS type distributor route. It did come.
Yeah,
pretty late.
exactly.
But I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of those tins. Like they come, does that one have the playmat? I don't even know for that celebrations. I know some of them come with the playmats in it.
No, that one just has you get a little notepad,
Okay.
sheet of stickers, 3 promo cards, and
Did
then
Did you
I forget
cannibalize
how
a
many
couple of
celebration
those?
packs you get.
Did you cannibalize a few of those to sell them like and piece them out?
Oh, I did that for all of them,
Oh,
especially
really?
on stuff like that where it's tough to ship. I just like even like the collection boxes. I opened all that stuff, pieced out the promos, the packs. I actually opened a good majority of my packs to build my own celebration set.
I weighed out all my celebrations packs.
There we go.
I'm a bad person. I didn't sell the white ones. All right. There's so many flashy cards. Question: do you guys have binders full of specific cards, like binders full of nine tails for old school, or is it just the error you collect? I have an answer to this, but I'll let you answer it first.
Yeah, for me, I used to have all my WotC sets and binders. So I did first Jungle through Skyridge. And I built those binders a long time ago. So the condition on the cards is really, really nice. I recently broke those binders up. I'm going to grade the hollows at some point whenever PSA reopens. But I left the non-hollow sets. So I still have those in binders just to flip through whenever I want to. But outside of that, I don't. That's about it for binders that I do. Funny enough, I'm really not a big Ninetales fan. It's just that no damage Ninetales that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah,
every other Ninetales, it's all right.
Yeah. So for me, I used to have a lot of binders, and believe it or not, very recently. So when PSA really ramped up and all Pokemon ramped up, Card Saver ones got really hard to find, and they got really expensive really quick. Like Card Saver ones went from you can get them cheap, and then you had to pay a crazy amount of money. So it wasn't worth it to get Card Saver ones anymore. And then I don't know if you guys follow, I mean, obviously you guys follow TCA Gaming, but he had done one video a while back with the black, the people that he always uses for like his acrylic cases, Black
Card X.
Black Card X.
Yep.
He had talked about Black Card X had their own like the CGC semi-rigids, and he had advertised it. Like the very first video he did, I went on that website. The shipping cost was crazy to have those semi-rigids mailed to me, but I just said, you know what? I'm just doing one big like 6,000 semi-rigid order. I did it. I got 6,000 semi-rigids, and then I spent like a week and hours here and there scattered, and I took everything out of binders, put them in penny sleeves, and put them in those semi-rigids. So now I just have everything that was in binders is now in semi-rigids. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you remember when he did that, or where do you get your semi-rigids from, or do you just do all top loaders?
I do semi-rigids for some stuff, like shipping like Japanese packs or those detective. I bought a bunch of Detective Pikachu packs. Shipping that type of stuff, I use semi-rigids for.
Yeah.
I mainly do top loaders though, and I used to be able to purchase those from my distributor, but they've been sold out of those for the longest time. So right now, I'm just buying them off of eBay.
So I always bought Card Saver ones, always. Like, honestly, I didn't even know that other ones existed. Like, I just only bought Card Saver ones. And then when Card Saver ones got expensive, I went to the Ultra Pro semi-rigids. I was like, I use Ultra Pro penny sleeves. Why not just use Ultra Pro semi-rigid, the worst product that has ever been created? Like, have you ever seen the Ultra Pro semi-rigids?
What don't you like about them?
They're super tight. They're like Card Saver 2s. You know how Card Saver 2s are super tight?
I'll give
They're
you that.
just like Card Saver 2s are terrible.
Yeah.
But like, I love the penny saver, or penny sleeves for them.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah. Actually just went to Target today and bought another 500 penny sleeves.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
$9.99. So I know everybody here like calls LGSs, but where I'm from, we call them comic book stores. And there's one comic book store that I grew up kind of near where I always bought my penny sleeves from, and they were always $1. And
oh yeah, it's how it
no
should be.
tax, anything. You would go in, you'd have a $5 bill, you'd have 5 packs, so 500 penny sleeves. You put them on the counter, give them $5, and you'd be done. Like that's how I used to do it, and then none of that's the way anymore.
I hope we get back to that pricing at some point.
We will.
Oh yeah, no, it'll just take time, but the current pricing for card supplies, even it's come down a good amount, but even still, it is so expensive.
I want to say that, was it Z&G made a video where he was like, the best investment you could do is buy Card Saver ones.
Seriously.
And I watched that video and I was like, dude, this video is already way too late. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
I was like, I already know this stuff, man. Like, you are way too late to the party.
Yeah, no.
Like, and I just think about how much money I've sent to like CGC and PSA in just Card Saver ones, you know?
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
What do you think they do with all those?
I think they just toss them.
Yeah, I want to call them up and be like, can you just deliver a pallet of these to my house? You talk about like you want to make some money. Imagine just selling like, how many like can you fit in a flat rate box? You know,
you can probably fit.
Just say, I'm gonna fill up this
couple thousand.
Fill up this large flat rate box with semi-rigids, no like specific count, just until the box is full. Ship those out. You'd probably be like a millionaire of millionaires, you know? Like, I know I would have.
Yep.
I would have bought those. Question, what's your favorite 3 cards you would hope to realistically own one day? 3, huh? Pre-release Raichu. No, not really. I would say I would like a Hollow Crystal Charizard in PSA 10 from Skyridge. I do not own that card.
There we go.
PSA 10. It was always expensive, relatively speaking. It was always an expensive card, and at all the points I've ever been in the hobby, I never could afford that card at a PSA 10 level. That's one of them. I would say I want to do like more niche cards, because all the cards I'm thinking are like more high dollar amount cards. Like I would say like the Rayquaza Gold Star in PSA 10.
Yeah.
If I would want that card, but see, that's a card I wouldn't keep. I would get it and then sell it.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one to keep right there.
I don't know. It's a good question. Like so what are your top 3? I only gave 2, but let me.
My top 3. Well, if we're talking non-realistic, it would be the PSA 10 no damage Ninetales. I know there's one out there.
You know who owns it?
It's some guy who lives in Europe, and apparently he has just a absurd amount of money.
No.
So he would never sell that card. But more realistic goals. I would like a Master Scroll. I love the artwork on that card.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's favorite card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm actually still missing I thought I had a PSA 10 Dragonair for my Shadowless base set. I recently found out I don't have that card, so I'm still missing that. So that's a realistic goal of mine to buy a PSA 10 Shadowless Dragonair for my Shadowless base set.
I got a realistic goal of card that I want that I don't have. The first ever Mew non-holo Black Star promo. I only have it in PSA 9, but I would like that card in PSA 10.
There we
But
go.
those cards are, you used to be able to buy them by the hundreds. Now you can only buy them by like the tens.
Yeah, the Black Star promos got to be crazy.
Yeah, I don't own that card in a PSA 10, and that's one of those random cards that I would like to own in a PSA 10 that I don't. So that's a very realistic goal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to think of like cards that like, because that's like a sentimental card from growing up, in the Pokemon League and stuff.
Yep. Did you play the game back in the day?
I did. I played it at Toys R Us. I still have my original book in the basement.
Man, you're one of the few there.
Yeah, do you want me to go get it?
Oh sure.
Oh god. All right. Give me 1 second.
I'll just hang out with the chat here. I've actually Professor Oak, who uses the PSA set registry to track out which cards you still need. I've actually never gotten onto the PSA set registry myself. I'm very old school, as you can tell by the name, and I just have everything in an Excel file. But I should obviously start using the PSA set registry to know actually what cards I have in my collection, because obviously that Excel file isn't working out too well for me.
All right. It's still in the original Ziploc bag from when I was a kid. Oh, whoa. There's some Pokemon cards in here. I don't know what cards these are. Just some unlimited.
Arcanine and Rhydon.
Yeah. So I got 2 badges.
Oh, I got a few of those pins.
Yeah. So this is how far I was able to get.
Wow, there you go.
And then I never was able to finish the 3rd badge.
That's awesome. You still have that though.
Yep. But I even have this. Do you remember this? The sticker, the certified coach sticker?
Well, I don't remember him from back in the day, but I remember him from recently.
You had to take the test to get it?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you might know these things.
I got another thing I want to go downstairs and get. Damn it, I can't.
Oh, sure, go for it.
It'll just be me off camera the whole time. But I have. So, do you remember in the Game Boy, it had like you can get like a Game Boy carrying case. It was a black carrying case. It was like for the original Game Boy. But anyways, in the back was a zipper compartment that could fit like a piece of paper in it. So I found my old Game Boy case, no Game Boy in it, no games, but in the back, in the zipper thing, was the original paper for that Mew, like that, or there was, during the Pokemon League, if you went to there, they had like Game Boys and you can get like an actual Mew to trade in game for like the red or blue. So you could have a Mew. And I had the original sheet like that explained what day to be at Toys R Us in order to get that. And it was in the back of my Game Boy thing. That's like one of my like prized possessions because I never knew I had it. And it was like finding a treasure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I love that type of stuff, like the old league materials and kind of promotional items from back in the day. I love that type of stuff.
Show me, what were you talking about?
Oh, so I did a big bulk buy with Rusty. And so that's how I said I knew about those certified coach.
Oh yeah. So did you know what they were for though?
I had no idea. No.
Yeah. So this was the original badge book. And right in the back, you would have to take like a test in the store or in the Toys R Us. And it was like a sheet of, printer paper, and then you'd have to fill it out. And if you got all the questions right, you could be a coach. So like you could help the newer people. And by becoming a coach, you could get like extra stamps or I don't really remember.
Okay. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's in the original bag. So
that's funny. I like it.
I had my original deck in here for a while, but I don't have anymore. But I ran a fire and fighting deck. and it was because I wasn't great at the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I would run like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee because there's no evolutions for them. And then I did run a Charizard in my deck though, which a lot of kids didn't do. And then I remember so the Mr. Mime was in Jungle. So when Mr. Mime was released as a card, he had like the mirror or whatever his special move was. And it was like the first deck I had ever lost against. And it's still to this day, I still hate that card because somebody had 2 of them in their deck. And I had like never even seen the card at the point. And I was like, what is this? Why can't I attack you? And I remember hating it. I got to go back and actually look at the move and why I hated it so much.
That's one thing I do want to learn. I've had this as a goal of mine for years, but at some point I am going to sit down and actually learn how to play Pokemon, because I have absolutely no idea how to play the game.
Yeah.
And that would make selling modern singles so much easier if I knew like which cards were playable and which cards were good.
Mainly just trainer cards. Trainer cards. What you're looking at, like $1.40 for decent trainer cards. But
right now, no idea.
I haven't played any modern Pokemon. It's been too hard to just keep up to date with like good decks and stuff. Yeah. I haven't even logged into the new Pokemon Live that they've done, so I know nothing about it. But I would be interested to get some of those stickers from you. Do you have any of those listed on your eBay store?
I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them. I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but I gotta. I don't know if you can see that. There's a whole box of them though. Oh. But yeah, like they're different types. I don't have any of them listed on eBay, but at some point I will.
Yeah, you might have like a one of a kind thing like those.
Yeah, maybe they're worth a fortune sitting on a gold mine in stickers.
I don't know about a fortune, but I think they're probably rare, because you had to be a gym leader to even have those. And a lot of those gym leaders back then were just Toys R Us employees, they weren't anything special.
Exactly.
Can you imagine like how sweet that would have been if you had like a bunch of boxes of, like the Ivy Pikachus or whatever, and you're just like, we still have all these, let's throw them in my closet or something. And you go back to them and you're like, oh, I could sell this lot for a couple $100.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
No, I'm sure there are people out there who did that.
Do you think people will ever truly recognize the rarity and condition rarity of a lot of Nintendo EX era cards and sets? Or do you think that demand will always be more for the seasoned collectors? I think, condition rarity for a lot of those sets actually is not as bad as you think. Those cards grade relatively easy, at least in my experience. Would you say like most near mint copies definitely PSA 9, PSA 10 for a lot of those Nintendo sets?
I would say like near mint is relatively common, like 8 to 9 range.
I wouldn't even go as low as 8s. I don't see, maybe people are just not grading them at those lower grades. Like
I have a feel like the ones that I see, they look really nice, but then when you shine under the light, they got like little scratches around the ones that have like the silver hollow on the edges. Those ones have like light scratches there, or light scratches in the hollow portion of the card, whatever. That's why I said 8 to 9. But
sorry, go ahead.
But with the 10s, I definitely think there's a condition rarity, if you will, just because of the pop reports on them being so low for PSA 10s.
But I think the thing too is when you talk about Nintendo EX era cards, there's such a hard divide. Between early Nintendo and just for the sake of this conversation, like talk about, end of Wizard of the Coast, just a late e-reader sets. I guess those, you have like three, I'll put it this way, you have 3 distinct areas. You have end of Wizard of the Coast, so Expedition, Aquapolis, Skyridge, like boom, that's a very big subsection. Then you have your early Nintendo stuff. So EX Ruby Sapphire, EX Dragon, Legends of the Hidden Temple, as I like to call it, Sandstorm, stuff like that. So those are like a very distinct early, call it the pre-Gold Star era. And then when you go from Team Rocket Returns and then you just keep going, you got all your Gold Star sets. So everything changes so drastically. And then even within those later EX sets, like it bounces around too with like how good those sets are too. Like Team Rocket Returns is the earlier of the sets, but it's great. EX Deoxys, like depending on who you ask, like it's not a great set with the exception of Gold Stars. Some people like it, some people don't. Then like Harlem Phantoms, Crystal Guardians, like Crystal Guardians now is one of those back to like a Team Rocket Return set. Like a Crystal Guardian is a very good standalone set, excluding Gold Stars, add Gold Stars on top of that. Like, you know what I'm talking about though? There's different tiers within those Gold Star sets.
Oh, definitely.
So it's like you got to break down. You can't talk about Nintendo EX sets as a genre. You have to break them down and talk about them more on a set to set basis, I think. And then even within the shitty sets, or relatively speaking, shitty sets, there's still like decent cards. Like EX Fire Red Leaf Green is probably not a lot of people's favorite EX set.
Hey, you watch what you say there.
There's a lot of good cards. Why? Do you like EX Fire Red Leaf Green?
I was gonna say the two best EX era sets are Team Rocket Returns and Fire Red Leaf Green.
See, it's hit or miss set. I don't know. And nobody ever talks about it too.
No. I don't think there's I think the biggest factor for kind of like the going from, so like WotC, you obviously have a huge following for. EX era, you have a decent following, but it's not as much as WotC. And then that trend just continues. Diamond and Pearl, you have less of a following than EX. Heart Gold Soul Silver, there's less of a following than Diamond and Pearl, so on and so forth.
Like even with the EX, no one ever talks about like EX Delta Species just as a standalone set. Because no matter how much people say they like Regice, they don't really like those like Gold Stars in that set. Because what is there? The Metagross, Regice, and what's the third Gold Star in that set? Regice, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But like EX Delta Species is still like a funner set when it comes to like the commons. You have like the common Ditto cards. Like those are fun. There is a couple good EX cards in that set. Like I really like the Jolteon is in that set, right?
Yep.
EX Jolteon, that's like one of my favorite cards in that set, especially being like more of a lightning type. But EX Delta Species almost never gets brought up as a set, like ever. Like, even I have to go back and think pretty hard on like what cards even in that set. And I don't even remember the last time one of those sets have been open like by a PokeTube or anything. Like,
oh, very rarely.
Like, ever. So
no, that does not happen very often there.
Yeah. All those sets have at least a couple nice cards and a lot of ugly ones. Legend Maker Reverse Hollows. Yep.
I actually
nice box topper.
Oh, that's true.
And did you ever hear about that? The EX Legend Maker, the Pikachu, the reverse hollow, or the not reverse hollow, the Pikachu box topper from Legend Maker. It's like 93 out of 92.
No.
So you know what card I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I made a video talking about that card, and I compared it to a Charizard PSA 9 from Darkness Ablaze versus that Pikachu and a PSA 9. And they were selling for the same price, $149. And I said, like, you should probably go after this card because not a lot of people are opening boxes of, EX Legend Maker.
Yep.
And the same day that video was released, there was a buyout on eBay, and all these cards sold. And I was like, listen,
Nice.
I got a little position in this card, so
There we go. There we go.
uh, what do you think about? So I've talked about this now in multiple videos. What do you think about these box toppers for these older EX sets? Like I think in the last live stream I mentioned the Charmeleon box topper from EX Team Rocket Returns. Like, what do you think about cards like those? Because my whole thought process when it comes to, yeah, you got the big box toppers like the jumbo ones from Skyridge and Legendary Collection, stuff like that, which those are fun, you know, especially like the Legendary Charizard box topper, but it's a jumbo one. It doesn't display the same with the rest of your cards.
Yep.
I feel like those things are undervalued just because not a lot of people are opening booster boxes.
Like I would say like the EX era, I like those better.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of jumbos, and even
Oh,
like
and
box toppers.
I was talking about the smaller ones. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Smaller ones. I would say. I could get behind those for sure.
Yeah. Like the Charmeleon I talked about at EX Team Rocket Returns.
Yeah.
Those things don't grade perfect too because they're loose in the boxes. They're not, you know, like the promos now, they come in the little plastic.
Yeah.
Back then they were just loose in the box. So
just thrown right in.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't made to be like PS, you know, mid condition cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Basic Trainer said, what do you think about Topps graded cards and sealed product? I think there's a lot of it, and there'll always be a lot of it, and there'll never not be a lot of it. There will be Topps until Topps sealed Pokemon product will outlive us all.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. I think there's a lot of Topps product out there.
I do like it more than I
never got into Topps.
Yeah.
Topps was the cards that your grandma would give you for Christmas that you always needed.
Yep, that's when you ask your mom to get you Pokemon cards and she didn't get you're like, this is worthless. But I think people tried to shill Topps for a little bit because it was easy to shill.
I think there's a few people that have a really big position of either sealed product or loose cards, and I think it's almost them controlling the market to an extent.
I would say that it is possible. You probably could have, if you were around early on and you were actually buying it. So like that's the thing too. Even if you were around a while ago, you probably still were not buying Topps. So you probably could have like made pretty large positions for like $10 to $20 for booster boxes.
You could not give the Topps Chrome boxes away back in the day.
But with that said, if somebody was buying it, they could have bought a lot for really cheap.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there are people out there who I don't know any of these people now, but I remember back in the day, like 2011, 2012, there were people out there that had a massive inventory of these Topps boxes, and whether or not they still have them, I don't know. But I know back in the day they had a lot of them.
Yeah, but it was always the trashier product.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Like where? I don't know. Would you like? I wouldn't go after high grade Topps cards, like PSA 10 or not. I wouldn't go after them.
No, I have no interest in anything Topps whatsoever.
There's way too many gaps in my collection to start going after Topps cards. Like I don't think I could live this lifetime long enough to complete everything to finally like go to Topps.
Exactly. No, there's way too much other cooler stuff to collect.
But if you want to like open it, like some of the old, you know, like the TV, you know, the Topps TV cards.
Yep.
Like the more cartoonish art for those. I mean, they would be fun to open, but for the prices for sealed product, like it's not fun at those prices.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, for a lot of those cards, you got to keep in mind, like, yeah, Pokemon cards are the playing cards, they're the rounded, but the tops cards are just the square and the corners on those cards. Picking up like true raw mint cards is a lot harder because nobody was penny sleeving and throwing those things right into a semi-rigid when they were opening them. Those things got shuffled around. I know I've definitely done it in the past where I've very poorly stored my tops cards. if they weren't all stuck together too.
Yeah, exactly. You get them all like stuck together in a brick.
Yeah.
I've had a few collections like that.
Yeah,
Where there's just a stack of tops cards that you end up throwing out because they're like super glued together.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I stole a bunch of milk crates from my elementary school. Do you remember milk crates?
Oh yeah.
We used to I'm pretty sure I used to store my tops cards loose in milk crates, like the plastic milk crates. That's probably how they were stored. So,
sounds about right there.
Yeah. You said Booyah said I bought a few PSA 10 tops cards on auction cheap and resold them later. Yeah, I think that would be the right play.
Yeah, if you can buy them cheap and sell them for a profit, yeah. I would do that.
Every single one, 2 of each with the exception of Chrome Box. Didn't find one till later. What's the big Tops box? The one that has the first appearance of Lugia? Do you remember which Tops box was that? Sure, somebody in the chat.
The movie 2000.
Is it the movie promo? I know there's those are the rare Tops cards, but I'm just not really into that.
No, I'm not either. I could be wrong there, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Have you ever dealt with a lot of the Pokemon first movie, the sealed promos? There was the Electabuzz, the Mewtwo, the Pikachu, those cards. Did you deal with a lot of those?
Oh yeah.
You had them sealed?
Yeah. And you used to buy those for so cheap.
Yeah,
and I'd be able to make a couple bucks on them. I remember selling them in so I do individually, lots of the 4 different ones.
Arcanine was the 4th, right?
What was that?
Arcanine was the 4th.
No, it was Pikachu, Dragonite, Mewtwo, and
Dragonite, yeah, the flying game, and it had the first movie stamp on them.
Yeah,
and then Rusty had a couple that the movie stamp was inverted.
Yeah, yep.
I had never. He always finds shit that I don't know existed. But you wouldn't even know to search for those because no one's searching for a lot of those. So
yeah, those are really rare. You have the inverted stamp.
Yep.
And then there's another version where it's stamped in the correct place, but it doesn't have the gold lettering.
Yeah. Like the weird variants, huh?
Oh, there's so many of them.
I always talk about there's just so many variants just on a Pikachu base set card, that one card, how many variants are there? There's first edition, right? So you have it in either red cheeks or yellow cheeks.
Yeah.
You have Shadowless, you have it in either red cheeks or yellow cheeks, but then you have the unlimited, but then you still have the E4 stamp cards. Then you have the Australian Poke Tour. Do you ever have any of those?
Oh yeah. Those always sell real well.
Yeah.
Not that expensive, but they always sell good.
How were those released? I don't know the release of those.
I have no idea. 99 or 2000.
Yeah. Those are one of those, I guess, call it a more niche thing, but those are pretty cool for those Pikachu cards.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you have the 99 2000, obviously, which that really picked up a lot.
Yeah.
I would say just within the last year or two.
I don't understand that whole.
I think it's because
99 2000.
I think it's who was it that pushed PSA to start recognizing that?
I forget his name.
Whoever did
it was someone on E4 though.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. Because when PSA, you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of like OCD Pokemon collectors who need to catch them all. So once there becomes a new variant of PSA labels, like it starts, like E4 is always where like everything starts there, right?
Yeah.
And then it trickles its way to the mass, the public. But I always try to explain to people too, like it only trickles out of E4 when people are ready for it to trickle out of E4, right? Would you say like that is?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say that most people don't. I don't even follow every thread anymore. It's too hard.
I don't follow every thread anymore either. There's a few that I keep up with every day or every other day, but for the most part, I don't spend as much time as I used to on there.
Even E4 Discord, like
E4 Discord, I'm terrible with that.
There's so much that goes on in the matter of like 60 seconds in the general chat. It's just
there's way too much happening there.
Yeah, but it's always interesting. I love like seeing what people are buying, and you ever see like people buying cards and their cards you sold them?
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. I always like that too. And then it's always bad when people are like, "Yeah, that's a good deal," and I'm like, "Shit." Like, but it'll be like a card that sat for a month too. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like Ernesto's next question.
What do you say?
Hardest card to get that you currently own?
The hardest card that it took me to get, or just hardest card in general?
No, yeah. Hardest thing that it took you to get. Hardest card that it took you to get. That was the toughest to get.
Okay, it wasn't a tough purchase, but it is definitely a purchase that I'll always remember. And I have one Shadowless First Edition base set Raichu PSA 10. It's the older back style label PSA label. And I bid on it so like there's a couch here that I'm sitting on, but there's a couch right here. And my wife was sitting on the couch where I'm sitting, and I was sitting on the other couch, and it went to like the last second of bidding, and I won the card for a little less than $700. And at the time,
nice.
Yeah, but at the time, my stomach dropped. I thought I overpaid for the card. I got caught into like a bidding war with somebody, and I was looking at my phone, and my wife was sitting on the couch where I'm sitting right now, and she looked over at me. I was sitting right there, and she went, "Is everything okay?" And because she could see it in my face, I was like petrified that I just spent almost $700 on, but that's why I said every stupid decision anybody made prior to 2020 was made up for. But that card at the time, I probably shouldn't have been buying it, but it was like that was my chase card always. And like a card I'll never sell. The only way I'll ever sell that card is if by some act of God, I'm able to pull that card myself. But there honestly is no situation where I'm opening heavy base set first edition packs.
No, not at this point.
No, so it's not going to happen. So probably the only one I ever own.
Yeah,
and it's got a little corner issue too. It's definitely not like a strong PSA 10, but I bought it, and yeah, I remember buying it, and I remember hoping, and this is a crazy thing, I remember hoping that the seller was going to cancel the auction on me.
Oh, that's happened. That's happened to me before.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
So, like, think about that. Like, think about spending less than 700, like 680 and change, and then with taxes, like a little over 700. But just think about that. Like, but that was probably like the hardest, I guess, to get was like that mental barrier to spend that much on a card.
Oh yeah. No, I remember those types of purchases. Yeah, there was like there's been like incremental barriers for me.
Yeah.
Like I remember back like spending a couple $100 on collections, and the first time I spent 1,000, and then 5,000, and just keep going up from there. But yeah, it's definitely a huge mental hurdle for sure.
So do you have any of those big like collection purchases that was hard for you to get?
Nothing that comes to mind, but like for personal collection stuff, not a card, but for my pack collection, I started that in 2016-ish. And I started out with WotC, and TCA Gaming actually had a Blastoise and a Venusaur pack art. It's the black triangle error, but it's the ones that are missing the black triangle.
Yeah, the first edition stamp cover-ups, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So I won those two off of him for was like $250 to $300 a piece at the time. And thought to myself, well, now I just got to find the Charizard, and that shouldn't be too difficult, not knowing anything about these packs.
Yeah.
Fast forward like 5 years, finally able to find the Charizard pack art that I was missing for that set, and that was so exciting. Probably one of the most exciting purchases I've ever made.
That's cool.
And then the No Damage Ninetales deck. That was another one that I never thought I'd own one of those, and finally bought one of those. But I knew Rusty had one from the video that he did, and I'd message him like every couple months. Hey, do you want to sell this? Hey, if you want to sell this, I'll buy it. When you're ready to sell, let me know. And he just kept saying no. And I didn't think we'd ever see another one. So I just kind of gave up on that. And then one day out of the blue, someone messaged me on Instagram saying, hey, I just opened a sealed deck. I've got this. Do you want to buy it? And we made a deal. And that was another really exciting purchase.
Yeah. Now you still have that sealed, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll never open that.
Yeah. So how did the only way you could verify that is you just have to open the sister box in the unsealed case, right?
No, so it's the actual deck is opened, but the plastic wrapping around
the brick.
Yeah.
Because I know there's like 2 brush fire decks in there.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you open one, that's how you're able to verify the other one.
I don't know. That'd be a good. I wonder how that works. I don't think we'll ever know the answer to that, but it would be interesting.
Yeah. Because that would be like one of those big what ifs. Like, this is a big maybe. No, because no one would know.
Exactly. No, that'd be a big gamble right there.
Yeah. That would be, but you would never know too, because you'd be like, yeah, I'm never opening this one either. So
exactly.
With those packs, you know how like when they're sealed, the front card always, it's not like a glue. It's like how the plastics heat welded on those bricks.
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of trouble? I mean, that's probably why there's only one PSA 10, No Damage Ninetales.
You would think so. But I don't have any. None of my no damage Ninetales have that glue stain on them.
They don't. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. But you would think that'd be the reason there's no PSA 10s, or there's only the one PSA 10.
How's yours look like centering wise for the front?
The sealed one that I have?
Yeah.
It looks really good. It doesn't. So you can like kind of move that seal going across the front. You can kind of move that a little bit, and it doesn't look like it has a glue stain, but I'm 99% positive it would actually be there if I did open it. But yeah, the centering looks real good on that.
Do you think you could ever get PSA to grade those?
With the stain designation?
No. Could get them to grade those bricks very similar to like auto.
That'd be I don't know if they would.
They grade packs and they grade individual promos, but I mean the thickness of those is so much different.
Well, they do
that would be interesting.
They did those demo packs which have 24 cards in them.
Yeah, the 24 cards with the all shadowless cards in it.
Yeah.
I didn't know they graded those.
Yeah, I know Rusty did a video where he showed them, and they like add a extra layer of plastic in between like the front and the back for the case.
Oh, you should do it.
I should email them and see if they would. Might have to look into that now. I never thought about that actually.
When you do that, you gotta give me a shout out for being the person to think about it.
You're the brains behind the operation.
See, this chat was worth it. We were just brainstorming. Now I have a bunch downstairs now. I'm gonna go think about sending.
There we go. We could start a market.
Start a market. We just corner that and Jack. This is how shilling starts, guys. But in a more public forum.
There we go.
Oh
man.
All right. PSA 9, the 99 2000 Zapdos. I got 2 of 3. I know it's fake new pop though. 2 of 3. What does that mean? I don't know. 2 of 3. You know what that means?
I don't even. Where's that? What's the question?
Cal said, Ernesto, PSA 9, the 99 2000 Zapdos. I've got 2 of 3. I know it's fake new pop though. I'm not sure what that means.
I couldn't tell you. On that one.
The Stamp World promo and PSA 9 were super hard to find for me. Took almost a year. Which World promos are you talking about? I remember those days when a few hundred was a massive purchase.
Oh yeah, sure.
I bought the base set box for 600, and that was the exact feeling I had. Yeah.
Yep, I remember back then. It was a lot different.
Yeah, see, you said Booyah said, wait, they grade demo decks. Yeah, already. They already have a slab for him. So yeah, he said what we said. So that would be interesting. That's a play right there.
Oh, for sure.
All right. So let's talk about this, right? And this is something I've been brainstorming for a while. PSA pack rating 8, 9, 10. It just, those numbers might as well be meaningless, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Could you make the argument that we all need to just, as a community, like come together and only grade packs as authentic? Like what?
I don't think it'll ever happen.
You don't think it'll ever happen? Like, you don't think we can ever just be like, listen, guys, every pack from now on, we grade as authentic.
Yeah.
None of this PSA 8, PSA 10. I don't know the difference. Yes. Do you think
I want to know how do they actually even grade packs 8, 9, or 10? They all look the exact same.
Yeah. I mean, I understand some of the packs when they sit on top of each other. You could see the crimp on the front of the other. Like, I could see that dock in it, but that's not always the case.
No.
Like,
No.
So,
and then I know Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan, he had a first edition base pack where it's so like those had the long crimp, so they like sometimes they got a rip in the crimp.
Yeah.
And I think he had one that still graded a 10 with that little tear.
See,
and how that works makes no sense to me.
That doesn't. Yeah, I wish we could just have all graded authentic. But yeah, you're right. trying to like get something like that to work would never happen.
No, I'd love it because I'd like to send all my packs in to get graded. Yeah. But the reason I don't is because I'm super OCD when it comes to my collection. Yeah. And if everything didn't come back the same grade, I would hate it.
I sent a couple in a couple months back at the $25 tier, and then they got rid of that.
Yeah.
I actually made a video on this channel talking. I called it what the hell is the name of the video? There's something like "Stop Gatekeeping the Hobby," and in the video, I sent 4 Cosmic Eclipse booster packs to PSA to have them graded. And in the video, I pretty much was just saying, stop gatekeeping the hobby. I'm not doing this as an investment. I'm doing this because I want to. And maybe the video was more like a therapy session for myself saying, you're doing something stupid. It's going to cost you $100. Let's make a video to justify.
There we go. There we go.
Do you ever have to do that? You justify stuff in your head. And you're like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like this purchase right here. This was a everyone thought I was stupid for that one. Those are all the pins that I bought off of Rusty.
Oh, dude. All right.
Or traded with Rusty for all.
You ready to talk about this? How did you first edition blister packs, man? How many of those can exist?
Not many, I'm sure. Not many, I'm sure.
But I understand why you did it. That is a long play.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
definitely.
you'll make money off those. That's like almost an income stream.
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who did not agree with that purchase.
So this is my take on that. Is I just thought you kind of could have got more from Rusty.
Probably.
I think you let him off. I think you let him off easy, and I think he knows that. So maybe you could bring it up in the future when you're trying to do something, and he's like, I'm gonna need a little more money, and then you could be like, hey, Russ, you remember those times I traded you those first edition blister packs, and you gave me pins that you weren't gonna sell anyways? Maybe you'll be able to do that.
I think we might be about even though, because I've gotten him a few times.
I think we've all gotten him a few times, but that's because 2020 was forgiving. I always talk about like when people, they always say it's never worth it to grade cards and only make $10-15. I always say, listen, Rusty was doing that before everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That market never existed until he did. And like, I'm thinking like all the Flash Fire Charizards, like how many of those did he grade?
A lot.
And I bet you, I mean, how many, I don't know, how many Charizards are in Flash Fire in general, Like there's a lot.
There are, yeah.
He opened a bunch of it. He graded every single one of them and he sold every single one of them. Like I look back on stuff like that and been like, man, what a genius. Did that before anyone.
Yep.
And now everybody looks back and they're like, well, duh. But it's like, no.
It wasn't duh back then.
Yeah. So I give him more credit than, but I mean, you think about what he's done for as long as he's done it, I don't have to worry about him watching this video. So I can pat his ego all I want, but
Well, it surprises me. He comments on some of my videos every now and then. So
yeah,
you never know.
It is amazing though, like what he was able to do for as long as he was able to do it at the level. And I don't think he talks about it enough, and he should. He needs to talk more about at the beginning when he was smart enough to reach out to a bunch of Wizard of the Coast employees, which that is a god level move.
Oh, for sure.
Like just think of how you had like the uncut sheets of just pack arts.
Yep.
How much money did he make off of those?
He made a fortune off of those.
That is high level stuff that he was doing, and reaching out to those employees and well, he never should have sold. He sold his shadowless sheet, right? Yeah.
He did sell one of the shadowless sheets.
Yeah, he had the shadowless, and then he got the first edition, and then I think he sold the shadowless. I remember it selling for like 15 grand and thinking that was a crazy high price.
Yeah, I think it's 15 or 20.
Yeah, I know. I think it was 15 grand. I remember when it sold and being like, I can't believe somebody spent $15,000 on it. What do you think that sheet's worth now?
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure I thought that was going to sell for a lot higher than it did.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure. But the thing with that one though is it was kind of beat up. So that held it back a little bit, but I thought that was going to go for more.
Yeah.
I was surprised it ended that low.
Do you know who bought that?
I have no idea. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have heard in the past, but nothing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine what that. I mean, that sheet's got to be, 6 figures. Who knows? I don't even know where that.
I don't know about that much, but definitely, I would say at least double what he paid for it.
No, I would put that thing. I bet you. You got to keep in mind there's the collector base has changed a lot. So
that is true.
For somebody to spend $100,000 on a shadowless sheet, there's only a few people spending that kind of money, but they're fucking with a lot of the prices.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're doing it on a high end that I can't really comment on, but they're doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We can't comment on what that would sell for, because what I would pay for it and what some guy with millions of dollars would pay for it are two completely different things.
It's just like gold stars, like gold stars were expensive-ish, but then they went hyperbolic. And I don't know what the catalyst for those gold stars were either.
I could not tell you what happened with those back in the day.
I don't know what that's the thing. I always try to go back and look and what was the catalyst? What made it pop? And I think a lot of it was honestly maybe the start of it was E4. And I think E4, I think a lot of it was just them having conversations what are the pull rates for this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And I think when they were talking about yeah, well, it's 1 out of every 2 booster boxes, 1 out of every 72 packs. But then I think there were so many conversations for the Pop Series 5 packs and the Umbreons and stuff being the non-hollows. And yeah, everybody we all take it's the 1 in 40 pack. That's the norm, but no one knows that.
I don't think so, yeah.
That's the shit people don't understand. It's that's the consensus, one person on E4 ran with, and now we all run with it, but no one knows.
Yep.
Because I would say that there could have been a point where it would have been worth it to open 40 Pop Series 5 packs and maybe pull that Umbreon. But what are packs now for Pop Series 5? $500, $600?
Are they real? I have no idea.
Yeah, they're a lot, man.
Are they really that expensive, man?
And in a 1 out of, and see, I'm going to quote it now, in a 1 out of 40 shot. And I don't even know if that's a true number, but that's the magic consensus we've all talked about. So, but I think so. It started there. It started with those guys, and I think it just bumped its way up to the heavy hitters and worked its way up to the new money and stuff. And then it was hey, listen, you guys are tired of this common first edition stuff that everyone has. All right, well, let's push you guys towards this stuff, and then try to explain to them the backstory. And then they're okay, we want this. And there's not a lot in PSA 10, and the ones that are on the market are held by a few and stuff like this. So I think it was a perfect example of organic market manipulation, if that wording makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't think we ever talk about organic market manipulation. And I think organic market manipulation is in itself in the hobby a real thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I always I don't talk about it a lot, but I talk about I'm a big believer that trophy cards is very organic market manipulation. And there are still a lot of people, and me being one of them, who really do not like trophy cards for personal reasons opposed to the consensus reasons. And I think the consensus reason for trophy cards is they're rare to the definition of scarcity, right? You could have, first, a first prize Pikachu card, which could only have a total population of 7. What? My argument before trophy cards became super hot was, well, I can't even say super hot because they were always hot, but it was always I didn't win that card. And thank God, like Rusty's like one of the last people left who doesn't like trophy cards.
Yeah.
Once he goes to the dark side, then I'm going to be on an island all by myself. And it's going to be fucking lonely. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, that's like an example. And like now to not think trophy cards should have like crazy value like they do, you're an outlier on this hobby. Like, that is a super hot take now.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I can see the value that they have. Being so expensive. I would never want to own one myself either.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other cool stuff that I'd rather have.
Yeah. I like some of like the Art Academy cards.
See, I'm not a big fan of the Art Academies.
Yeah, I like a couple of them. I like them because they're childish, you know,
yep.
And they're, as a Pokemon card, they're very distinct. So I do like those, and being more like a 1 out of 100 kind of thing if you own one of those. So you do get a little bit more of that like artificial scarcity, like guarantee.
Yeah.
So I like the thought of that, but the problem with cards like those is the same problem trophy cards had at the beginning, was that barrier of entry. You have to like advertise those cards, or people just don't even know they exist.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Like I never knew the Illustrator was a thing until Scott's first the one he sold on Heritage.
Like the original Illustrator 97 Pikachu one?
No, like the Illustrator card.
The Illustrator.
Yeah, the Pika Illustrator.
Yeah, Pikachu Illustrator. Yeah, 1998. I think I said 97, but yeah, the 98. Yeah.
Yeah. I never knew that was a thing until.
So I always knew. I feel like that was like a Nintendo magazine in the 90s. I feel like that card was talked about for a while.
It could have been.
But even that card, when you think about it, like copies magically still appear. Like, what's like the consensus number on that? There's 30 of those Illustrator Pikachu cards, I think. But then somebody graded one with CGC and got like an 8.5, which I don't understand why you would do that.
I don't get why they would grade through CGC either.
So did you see that somebody graded the first edition Charizard at graded 9.5 CGC like average?
I did see that, yes.
Dude, if that card comes up for grade, or comes up for sale, I'm going to try to pick that thing up and cross grade it if it goes real cheap.
I wonder what something like that would go for.
It wouldn't go for a lot.
It wouldn't go for what a PSA 10 goes for.
What is PSA 9? Like 28 grand right now, probably?
Yeah.
So a 9.5 CGC, maybe it would go. It would be a risky bet.
It would be. To
try the cross grade it, but
yeah.
You could, if it, let's say a 9.5, let's say it sells at the 28 grand though.
I would think it would go a lot higher than that.
You think it would?
I would hope so.
You think it would be too much of a no-brainer though? At like,
at 28,000, I think you'd have a lot of people. A lot of people bidding on that still.
But it's not going to PSA 10 prices.
Oh no, I don't think so. I could see 50, 60.
I haven't looked at the high res scans. That's probably something I should do, but can you imagine if you cracked that and cross graded to Beckett and got a pristine 10?
That'd be ridiculous.
How much money would you make off that? Like, a couple $100,000.
Oh yeah. That'd be nice right there.
That would make a good YouTube video.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about a 1 million view banger, cross grade a 9.5 to a pristine 10. This is what you would have to do with that card. You would have to grade it or cross grade it, get the pristine 10. Then you would have to send it to market, get it sold, like maybe put it in a PWCC premier auction or something, get it sold. And then after it's sold, then tell everyone you cross graded a 9.5, because I feel like just letting people know the story will drag down the price a little bit.
Oh yeah.
everyone will call it like the weakest of, like the weakest.
That's true. No, you'd have to do that behind the scenes there.
Yeah. That's see, I'm talking out loud too much. People are just probably hating me more and more. They're like, he's just an evil person. He's always just like, his head's always spinning.
Yeah, now everyone knows your strategy now for when it does come up for auction.
I know. Everybody, if anybody's watching in the chat, let me know if you watched my 3-pack blister opening yesterday.
That was a good video. That was a good one right there.
With the Jose Canseco rookie card. I know you're selling a little bit on WhatsApp. I mean, not that you're doing anything like I was talking about. I'm just talking like, what have you seen now for prices you've been selling at? Because
it started off really good. I gotta get better at being more consistent on there, because right now, I started off doing good when I first got on there. I was doing like an auction every other week, and then I took like 2 months off, and now I'm getting back into doing auctions every other week. But when I first started back June, July, the pricing that you could get on there was absolutely absurd for some stuff, and then other stuff would be typical eBay sold pricing. But now like with today, where there's so many more sellers on Whatnot, it's kind of calmed down a bit, where it's more so those typical eBay sold pricing. Occasionally you'll get stuff that goes really high. Some stuff goes really low still, but on average it's about what you can get on eBay for them, for those cards. It's
have
just
you had some stuff sell for more?
What was that?
Have you had some stuff that you've listed on WhatsApp sell for more than maybe you had listed on eBay?
Oh, absolutely. I remember selling, so I have the unlimited base set starters, so Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, listed on eBay, all just near mint condition, listed on eBay for $4.99 a piece. I did one Whatnot stream where I put the 3 of them up, all near mint condition, figuring probably get $5-10 for the set. Someone bid the set up to like $50 or $60, which was insanity. And then I bought a whole bunch of jungle uncommon square cut cards.
Yeah,
and those used to do really good on Whatnot. I got those listed on eBay for $7.50 a piece right now. And I did back when I was running these Whatnot auctions, and those cards on Whatnot would always sell for $20-30, when you could have just popped on eBay and bought the same card from me for $7.50.
I don't know. I have my thoughts about that platform. It just raises so many questions for me. Like, all right, I'm gonna move on. I don't want to I know you sell on there, so I don't want to start just ripping it through the mud. I know you've been selling some stuff through Evo. How have you been liking that now?
See, I gotta get better with Evo. It's been forever since I've sent anything to them in terms of new inventory. So my stuff there is selling slowly. But the amount you have to pay in storage fees, and then
that's why I never even considered it.
I'm probably making $20 a month after the storage fees and the monthly fee, which they charge for the amount of stuff that I have there. It's $45 a month to just store the stuff there, and then to sell with Evo, it's $20 a month. So I'm paying $65-70 a month just in fees.
So it's just a convenience thing for you then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you can do really well with Evo. I'm just so controlling. I like to be control over every aspect of my business. So The only stuff that I do send to Evo is stuff that I have a crap ton of listed on eBay already.
Yeah. I don't even know who that is, who they're talking about in the chat, but so how much are you seeing? So you do a lot of big bulk collections. Are you picking up any black and white stuff or?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
Do you think stuff like that people are just not moving because it's not worth it? Like the money that somebody's going to make moving a bunch of black and white stuff just isn't worth it to them, so that's why they're not doing it.
Are you talking like hit cards or just like typical
No,
bulk
I'm
stuff?
just typical bulk stuff. Even like hollows and stuff sell for like $1.
Yeah. No, I think black and white it's similar with like the XY. I would group it in there. I wouldn't pay more for black and white bulk than I would for XY bulk.
I would
just because I consider X like black and white and XY to be semi-modern. I group those two in together.
You had posted on your recent, I don't know if it was a consignment video you're doing, but you had like a GMA, the Zekrom, the black and white slab. Was that slab labeled 2019?
I didn't notice that until after the video, but yeah, it was.
Okay. Did anybody mention that?
The Reshiram was labeled right, 2011, but the Zekrom was labeled 2019.
Did anybody mention that?
Those videos do terrible for me. So I don't think I got any comments about that.
So I have like my normal YouTube and I don't ever comment on people's videos, but like I noticed that and I was like, maybe I'll leave a comment. And then I was like, nah. But it was mislabeled, right?
It was, yeah. No, it said 2019 black and white. I got a kick out
I was
of
like,
that.
when you
when
you were doing the
what? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I said when you were like going through the card, you weren't talking about the date, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that says 2019, and then I was like, did they reprint that in a Sun and Moon set as like a some kind of weird reprint? I was like, or was that a reprint promo? I'm like, I've never even heard of that card, but it was the original one.
No, that would have gone in well with my GMA bashing in that video. I'm really not. You like GMA?
I like me some GMA.
Oh God, get out of here!
I think GMA slabs are so undervalued that you could pick them up and crack away.
But what was it? It was an 8.5 that I showed within. I think it was an 8.5 that I showed within that video. That did not look like a PSA 8.
Crack it and get a PSA 7 and triple your money.
You think? I'm curious. I don't know. I haven't followed pricing at all on those types of cards. I'll be interested to see where that one ends up compared to like a PSA 7.
When you think about black and white, those are probably the two cards you think about, though.
Oh, that's the only two cards I could probably name in black and white.
Yeah. So I think what kills people is just searching those cards, because if people are looking for a graded copy, they're just going to type in PSA. That's why you see so many people write like GMA/PSA question mark. They're just like,
exactly.
Please search this card.
Exactly.
Let's see. CGC made me think. Let's see. Sword and Shield singles will be worth more than black and white singles in 10 years. Thoughts? No. Sword and Shield, there's way more Sword and Shield singles than black and white. But
yeah, but Sword and Shield, the popularity, there's not many people that were into black and white.
True. Like Dark Explorers. I always mention Dark Explorers because no one likes Dark Explorers. Emergent Powers, nobody likes Emergent Powers. Black and White Base, no one likes Black and White Base. Let's just go through all the sets. No one likes any of the sets.
No, I don't know. I could potentially see that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was looking the other day trying to pick up not Black and White, but Diamond and Pearl Mysterious Treasures and some sealed product. But I know I mentioned it earlier in the video, like any Diamond and Pearl sealed stuff is just stupid expensive right now.
oh yeah, definitely.
And I don't know what is it gonna take for that stuff to start retracing the prices that makes sense to like start picking up some of the stuff sealed again, because right now it's not there.
No, I don't think so. I think it's way too expensive.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people holding that stuff, expecting it to become when the generation who grew up with Diamond and Pearl gets old enough, they'll start wanting to collect that, and then boxes will increase even more. And I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, like I'm a Raichu guy, so Stormfront has the level X Pikachu in it. But
Yep.
because freaking Stormfront has the 3 secret rares, the Charmeleon, Charmander, and then the Charizard, the reimagined artwork that Arita did.
Yep.
Those packs hold such a stupid premium because of those secret rares that
Oh yeah.
like am I gonna ever be able to pull like the Raichu level X from Stormfront? No. Am I ever gonna be able to pull like the Raichu Prime from Heart Gold Soul Silver? I think it's Undaunted. Am I ever gonna be able to pull that? No, because those packs are just stupid expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Heart Gold Soul Silver doesn't get the credit it deserves too. And I think there's a lot of really good cards in there too.
Oh, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I would say it gets the credit, at least for like sealed product pricing. Some of those boxes are pretty expensive.
Yeah, everything's expensive now. Anything like
That's true.
what does your sealed collection look like for booster boxes for the mid-era stuff? Are you into any of that stuff, or you try?
I don't have a single booster box outside of like the latest modern sets that I'm selling. But
Yeah.
for my own collection, I don't have a single booster box.
When it comes to modern, are you sitting on cases of stuff right now that you're trying to just like get rid of and you can't because prices have crashed? Or you've been doing pretty fine just being able to liquidate this stuff?
No, it sells decently well. It's slowed down a bit, but it's still selling all right. We just got a reprint or an extra allocation, whatever you want to call it, of basically everything from Darkness Ablaze through Evolving Skies.
Yeah.
Which will be, I haven't actually gotten it yet, but that'll be shipping in a week or so, I think.
Have you been watching the prices for that kind of stuff? Because it's got to be like a little.
Oh, they're definitely dropping real quick. Yep.
Yeah. But I think you move so much product that, even the slim margins, I think you could just.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
You'll make it work for you.
Oh yeah.
So this is my thing with prices dropping so much is I think people just got greedy that their margins were so large that they forgot like to work off slim margins. There's going to be a lot of people out there getting burned.
Oh, there's going to be a lot. Yeah. Especially Mason did a video recently about all these like LGSs not being able to afford like product that they're getting from distributors because Pokemon's releasing all these reprints at the exact same time.
The comment section in that video was brutal.
Oh, there's not many LGS supporters on.
It was a brutal comment section. I think I went back and watched that video twice just to read the comments. Like, oh my god, like, because I make a $7 hot dog video and then that $8 hot dog. Everybody was just like, it didn't take long too. Like when you think about like the timeline from the hype to the crash, I think we could be running into like, and I mentioned it in another video too, is like the bubble graph is the bull trap where all the bulls start piling in because we're like, everything's cheap again. I could buy everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we'll cause like another little peak, but then it's just gonna fall off a cliff.
I almost think we're towards the bottom of where it'll end up. I don't know. I don't know if in general pricing will go down very much further.
I mean,
Obviously, there's some stuff that's still really expensive that I think still has room to go down, but a lot of stuff I think we're reaching a point where it'll kind of settle out a bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting if we could break through like distributor pricing, like that floor. Like I think Battle Styles has already like floated a little bit, like right at that we're losing money by selling this product kind of stuff.
Oh,
and I'm wondering, like,
yep.
but so obviously you could break through it a little bit, but like if you could really hammer through that, I don't know, like logistically how possible it is to get to like a $60 booster box. Like, is it possible? Of course it's possible, but the logistics behind it, and there's gonna have to be some buying pressure at booster boxes, at these $80-$70 marks that I don't know. Can you crash all the way down and go to like a $40 booster box that some people say? Like, it just doesn't.
Not a chance. No.
Yeah, it's too out of the realm of what I think could happen. I think there's just too much like stoppage there.
I think we very easily could get back to $80-$90 boxes.
That's the norm again.
Yeah. I think that's definitely possible.
But I think we could. It's going to be interesting to see the creep up too once all this stuff goes out of print, because I mean, there's only so much supply, and like eventually, given enough time, the market should be able to absorb it. Whether they could absorb it in a year, or they could absorb it in 5 years.
Yep.
And we've already talked about it in this video. They did it with evolutions. They could do it with anything. So
that is true.
People could say it's not possible that we can't continue to absorb it, but we've already proved that to be wrong. Now, everyone says, well, was Pokemon like just this fluke black swan event and we'll never see it again? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe
I don't think we'll ever see another 2020 mania. I can almost say that with certainty.
Yes, but what would it take? I mean, what if you got another variant comes out and everybody's just locked up, stay at home again?
I think it was a combination of COVID, PSA, changing ownership, and I don't think we'll ever know what happened. I think the old ownership of Collectors Universe, the old ownership of PSA, I think they almost like gave up and just kind of set the company on autopilot because they knew they were out of there. I think they made a lot of stupid decisions.
In cards that jacked up the valuation.
What was that?
I think they were just taking in cards to jack up the valuation and knowing they couldn't grade them.
Something like that. Because why they didn't shut down earlier or raise prices earlier?
Raise the prices. That's beyond me. Raise prices. If you think about it, what did they do? They did the opposite. They did that freaking Pokemon special where everybody sent away for $7, $7-8 for a card.
Yep. I think the Pokemon special was because of CGC opening up. Because they did the special right as CGC was announcing that they were going to start getting into grading Pokemon cards. And so I think PSA ran that special to say, hey, don't send your cards to this new company, send them to us. Yeah.
I had a little bit of a conspiracy, like it's not true anymore now that time's gone by, but like if PSA wanted to cripple CGC, the way you do it is by shutting down, causing the flood of cards to CGC. So what is it going to be in turn? Their, turnaround times go from an advertised 30-day business turnaround time to 180. Who knows? Like my first CGC submission got accepted in end of December 2020, and I didn't get that back for months.
Yeah.
So, and at the time it was the 30-day turnaround times. It was still the 720 a card with like the membership discount and stuff. And then that just quickly went the way of the dodo, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then you have everybody that submitted to CGC like looking at these PSA prices, and it's like if PSA was trying to like do some real, deep state psychological warfare on us, like they're winning the war. We lost.
Oh, for sure.
Let's see. What do you think the new set with character cards and potential alt arts are? That would be interesting if you have an alternative art Charizard. I mean, it's definitely possible.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. The question would be, just because it's an alternative art doesn't mean it's going to be like an awesome artwork.
Yeah.
But Pokemon's doing it right now. They're doing it right now. Like,
for sure.
Their artwork is on point.
Yeah, no, they're doing a really good job right now with Modern.
Yeah. So if you can do like a legit alternative art Charizard, like you could be talking if you got a Pikachu hyper rare from Vivid Voltage, hit $300, like, well, then you got the Rayquaza from Evolving Skies hit like, what was the high it hit, right? Like 500 maybe, right at release.
Yeah.
Charizard, you could probably see 600 maybe right at release. That'd be stupid high.
Oh yeah.
That would be one of those cards like, what do you do when you pull a chase card? You grade it and you sell it as fast as you can. I think Mason made a video talk about Hot Potato.
Yep. That's a prime example right there.
Yeah. That's set the oven and forget it, and then stick your hand in the oven and pick that baby up.
Oh yeah. Did you see the first metal Charizard PSA 10 sale? Sold
yeah,
it
was a fake.
$10,000.
No, it's fake. Not.
I don't know, because then there was a second confirmed
Fake.
sale on
Fake.
Pallet Town
Fake.
for
They're fake.
$7,200.
Fake. No way. Fake.
No,
right?
he confirmed that.
How?
I have absolutely no idea.
I refuse. No, I'm gonna sit back and say I refuse. There's no way, right?
Like $10,000 sale, I don't know about, but the
7,000 fake.
No, that one because I talk to him every once in a while, and that one's actually confirmed.
But why? How? I mean,
I have no idea.
How many of those cards exist in the world?
There's gonna be a lot of those.
Yeah. And if people are seeing $7,000 price tags, like people are gonna justify $150 to roll the dice.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, I understand like the quality of those cards have been pretty shitty. And like
there's always like nicks on the back of them.
Yeah, but what are PSA 9 selling for?
That I couldn't tell you. That.
I would love to see the price difference. I don't know. It seems fake. Like
I couldn't believe that. That was crazy to me.
We'll see if that card goes right back up on the market,
Yeah.
Because unless somebody's trying to buy that, we'll see, because we'll see like obviously like the number on the card and stuff, the PSA pop number.
Yeah.
But if it goes right back on the market, it would make me think that it's like a shill thing. Because why would you buy that card as an investment at 7 Gs?
I think you'd have to be stupid to do that.
There's a lot of stupid people too.
There definitely are. There definitely are for sure.
There's been how do I phrase this? What do you think was like the main driving factor versus like the way we saw prices rise like so drastically? Do you think it was people with a ton of money or people with a little bit of money but just spent it all at once?
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly it.
You think it was like a little bit at a lot, or a little bit all at once and not a lot, just
Yeah, no, I think it's more. I think it was more so people like us just having nothing else to spend their money on, buying stuff, and that kind of snowballed into news getting out of Pokemon getting hot, and then other people with more money started getting into the hobby, and just kind of created this whole snowball effect.
there's going to be some bag holders when this is all said and done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, the card I always talk about, which is obviously the most freaking popular card and everyone talks about it, is, you know, like when you think about the Charizard first edition, the price disparity between a Charizard and literally what's, you know, called, I guess the Blastoise is the second most expensive. So the price disparity between a Charizard and a Blastoise,
Ridiculous.
it's such a insane price difference, you know?
Oh yeah, it really is. And then
Yeah.
even the price difference between grades, like
Yeah.
you go from 300,000 for a PSA 10 all the way down to 20,000 for a
30,000,
PSA
yeah.
9.
And well, the crazy thing too is for a while too, base set packs after like the Logan Paul thing, like even the non-box break prices were creeping up to like 15 grand for packs.
Yep.
What are you gonna pull in that pack for 15 grand? You know, like that is I don't know. I know Rusty did he ever sell that heavy first edition pack he was trying to sell for 20 grand? You know?
I think he sold a few of them because he had a few of them, I think. I think he might have sold at least one to Pokemon Radar, who's now trying to sell it himself.
Just trying to stock out. Why would Pokemon Radar try to? That's a tough pack to flip right now. Why would you do that?
Yeah, right now you're gonna not do so hot.
I think I'm going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I just think that he's in a different crowd than we are.
I would say so. Yeah, for sure.
I think that he's in a crowd of people that he probably is like, I could sell this pack to stupid people with a lot of money. Right?
Exactly.
Like, why would you? Yeah. Now, the blister packs you had traded away, did they have any sort of bend to them, or you didn't really look?
I didn't really look at them. Rusty said, I think it was the Venusaur art looked like it had like a
Venusaur.
looked like it had a bend to it.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that you can weigh out blister packs. But I did weigh them. They all weighed exactly the same.
You can't weigh them out.
I don't think you can. I think there's inconsistency there.
There's too much, yeah. You can't weigh them out. You could try, but you can't. What would you do if that was ever opened and somebody pulls just like a Gemnet 10 Charizard? Do you think about it, or you just don't think you want to think about it?
It wouldn't bother me, honestly, because I would never open that pack myself. I
Do you still have any first editions?
What was that?
Was that all you had, or you still have some first edition packs?
I still got my loose first edition packs. And then I still do have a Charizard blister first edition.
Oh, nice. So you kept the good one, the expensive one.
Oh yeah, gotta hold on to at least one.
Isn't it crazy, the price disparity, not just between the packs, but between the pack artwork? I mean, talk about the premium pack artwork. Like, we're so far away out of the realm of like justification for shit. It's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I have these 2 blisters, but one of them has a different artwork, so we're gonna charge like $500 more.
And they're all the one's not printed less than the other.
Yeah.
You've got whatever 12 of each in a box, and then 8 of each in a blister case because there's 24. So that they all have the same distribution.
Yep. Yeah.
No, I'll never understand that type of stuff.
No.
Sometimes.
All right. So it's 11:19 right now. So I don't know about you. You want to wrap up in like 15 minutes, or you getting tired, or?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good whenever.
All right. So we'll wrap up and we'll keep talking. I'm enjoying this chat. Like I told you, I was a secret.
Definitely.
Secret
I might go upstairs for just a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll read the chat.
Right back.
Yep. Let's see. So Grumpy said, yeah, first Ultra Premium Collection Charizard was not paid for, but was relisted. Yeah, it's the biggest shill bids ever, man. I don't believe that those sales can be real. Raheem said, people are betting on the fact that it's impossible to get 10s, but they don't understand just how many of these are out there. There's a lot. Even like, you got to think, even people that maybe got like small distributions of these Ultra Premium collections. So maybe say, I think Mason from Cardinal Game and said he got maybe 12, but still 12 is a lot of cards when you're talking a $7,000 10. Like, and the fact that they're already starting to grade 10s means that it is possible. It's not like one of those months and months go by and no 10s hit the population. No, it's not like that at all. It's literally weeks went by and 10s are hitting the population. So while they will be rare, they won't be like at all impossible to grade. Let's see. 10s and 8 and 9s for the Charizard now 104. Okay, so the 9s are 143 graded. That's super cheap. Damn, up to 21. What percentage is going up to? Yeah. Now, if you guys got any more questions, let me know down in the chat. If you guys could do me a favor and hit the mute button and just like this video. Listen, it helps me out a lot, especially, maybe we could get this video out to somebody that's never seen the channel before. You really help me out. The premium for the Charizard art makes sense to me though. If you only bought one Zard, yeah. I think Basic Trainer is trolling. I don't know. Does anyone think or care about what Logan Paul will do or has done with the first edition boxes? That's a good question. I don't think anybody ever talks about that anymore. He's still sitting on 5 first edition boxes. So, 5 first edition boxes, 12 hollows per box on average. That's still 60 more first edition hollows going to hit the market. That is interesting to think about too. And you got to figure, okay, out of those 60 first edition hollows, maybe you'll get like 40%-ish grade of PSA 10. So Old School Pokemon, they just asked a question in the chat that, does anybody still care what Logan Paul is going to do with his remaining first edition booster boxes? And I was just saying, like, assuming 12 hollows per box, that's still 60 more first edition near mint, graded cards get hit in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what do you think he's going to do with those boxes? I feel like the time's tick. Well, I guess the time already kind of ticked away on those. I think he's just so busy doing other rich people shit that he doesn't care.
Well, I'm curious to know what his next Pokemon video will be. There's a lot of chat about him buying some trophy cards.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what that's going to be about.
Did he buy him? Have you heard the rumors? Did he buy him from what's his name? Dave?
I personally, I think he bought
from Scott
SM Pratt's trophy Pika set. Remember he did a video
back
a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Showing all those cards. I think Scott sold those to him.
That makes sense. It's only, yeah. I thought maybe Scott sold it to him, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I think.
Because who else has them?
Yeah, exactly.
At least who has them in a way that is like makes like that sort of video.
Yeah, yep. But I'm dying to know what that purchase was.
If he's gonna start shilling, see, this is the thing. If he starts Logan Paul starts shilling freaking trophy cards, it's just gonna.
I don't think people are saying. So we don't know for sure that he bought trophy cards. That's just kind of the assumption. But I don't think that would affect pricing very much, because the people who could afford to buy these trophy cards already have enough money. It's not going to affect like the average collector like us. We're not going to suddenly start going after these 97 Pika trophies or whatever.
Yeah, and Scott still has his Illustrator Pikachu up on eBay.
Yep.
So surprised nobody's come along and purchased that. I'm sure somebody has like a few times just to like piss them off.
Oh, I would not be surprised. Yeah,
I wonder how many 0 feedback score eBay accounts have purchased that Pikachu.
I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah. Is that like something somebody could say? It's like, well, I owned it at one point, but I just technically never paid for it.
Yeah, I just never paid for it.
I never paid for it. Yeah, I don't have to worry about him watching this either, so he'll never know that I just sent a bunch of people to buy his Illustrator.
But I was actually, I forget what the box sold for. It was over 300,000, but there was just a PWCC first edition base box that ended.
Yeah, I didn't see what the final was.
It was over 300,000, which I was really surprised by. I thought for sure it'd be under 300. So that was a good sign, I guess.
It should have been way under 240. I think the problem with first edition boxes it's not the value of the box. I think it's just the value on if you have like the social networking ability to sell those packs.
Yeah.
Logan Paul, he bought those 6 booster boxes, but he literally paid for them all by opening one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how much jealousy can one person have that you were able to buy 6 first edition booster boxes, sell one, and pay for them all? I'll never be there. Poke Collector says,
that was pretty crazy how the original first base box he broke, the packs were $10,100 and something dollars, and then the second box break he did, all those went for 30 40.
Yeah, I think, but all right, this is my thought about the first one. The first one was the group of people who bought those packs were people in the hobby, people that we all knew or knew of or watched or whatever. And it was a different feel to that box break. Like even call it the aura or whatever around that box break, just like the opening and everything, it just had like a different feel to it.
Yeah.
And then the second box break was just, it felt forced in a way. Like he pulled 2 Charizards in that second box. Rusty sold him a freaking banger box, but it still
2 Charizards, 2 Chanseys.
Yep, but it still didn't have like the same feel to it. So
yeah, no, definitely not, because you didn't know anyone buying the packs. It was all celebrity status people.
Yeah, some crypto guys that were cryptoing to the moon. So
yep, exactly.
All right, so Pokey Collectibles says, thoughts on EX Sandstorm set? Has that nice Raichu EX and Aerodactyl EX. Yeah, both. Oh, I don't know if you could hear that in the background. My son's crying, but my wife, I talked to her before we started the stream. Yeah, that EX or the Raichu in that set, definitely one of my favorites. It's got like the where he's like going like this, I do like that one. And I talked about the Aerodactyl, I want to say very recently. And I do like that Aerodactyl EX from Sandstorm just because of like the color scheme they use for that Aerodactyl. Like it's like a grayish green hollow, and it just it's like a banger hollow. And actually in the last PWCC auction, PSA 10 version of that Aerodactyl sold, and it sold for a lot. So you got any thoughts on EX Sandstorm?
I don't get much into past WotC myself in terms of like collecting, investing, I guess. I mainly stick with WotC for that stuff, and then occasionally a little bit with modern as well. But any of the EX, Diamond and Pearl, all the way to XY, I don't do too much with that outside of buying and selling it.
Yeah. EX Sandstorm is nice too, especially if you like Evolutions, the Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon are in those.
Yep.
It's a fun set. It doesn't get like the love it deserves, but none of those sets really do. Can you hear my son crying in the background?
I could not.
Okay. Basic Trainer said, "What do you guys think about MetaZoo currently and future?" I think it's a Ponzi scheme. I think it's a pyramid scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's going to crash and burn as soon as a relatively artificially scarce product becomes a massively produced, no longer artificially scarce. Once it hits Walmart stores, I bet you, if you went outside right now, it's late at night, but let's say it's 9 a.m. You go to a store and you polled every single person in that store and said, "Do you guys know what MetaZoo is?" I'd be surprised if you found one person that said, "I know what MetaZoo is."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go check on him real quick, but you can keep
you're good.
About
You're fine. Yeah, for MetaZoo, I've been buying one of each booster box and theme deck, but I'm not going big into MetaZoo whatsoever because I really, the cards are all right to me, but I'm really not too big of a fan for MetaZoo, and I think it's all basically just artificial scarcity where they're limiting the print runs of each set. But it'll be, I'm really curious to see where the second printing of Cryptid Nation, what'll happen with pricing when that set finally releases. But yeah, the Kickstarter for MetaZoo stuff, even the first edition Cryptid, absolutely craziness.
So you're just finished talking about MetaZoo, I'm guessing?
Got some MetaZoo talk in the chat, yeah.
Yeah. I think listen, I'll be interested to see where MetaZoo winds up in the long term, but I would be very nervous spending a ton of money on this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people get caught up in the hype that is just like the card market right now, but you don't know where the stuff's going to land.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you listen to the people really hyping it up too, you'll notice them hyping it up in every place.
Yep.
You know, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't believe that people are opening this product.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. I think the majority of people are just keeping it sealed.
It's a sealed product play. That's what it is. And but this is the thing. I don't hate sealed product plays if you're going to be transparent and say that's what it is. Stop saying it's a game when it's a sealed product play. There's a lot of things that are investable but now when you talk about like a MetaZoo versus like a Flesh and Blood, where Flesh and Blood definitely probably has like a fan base and a player base, so I can maybe see that opposed to, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm fine with being wrong. I think it happened once.
I also think there's way too many promo cards that they're coming out with for MetaZoo. They're doing a promo for every little thing that they release.
Yeah. So yeah. And I like that they came out and straight up copied Pokemon like to the T. I don't know if you saw that original box break he did. He's like, I'm just going to talk about Pokemon the whole time and compare it to that. And then coming back like, months later and saying, yeah, this game isn't really like Pokemon. It's like, shut up. Come on. Like, who are we kidding here? Call it what it is.
Yeah. No, that video did not go over too well for him. He quickly removed that.
Yeah. All due respect, Jody, but you love yourself some MetaZoo. We know. He talks about MetaZoo every chance he gets. So Jody says, how many promos Pokemon got? How many
look how much older Pokemon is.
Yeah, that's not a fair thing to say. That's like saying, yeah. Less than 50 promos to date, not including mini holiday sets. Okay, 50 promos. How many Black Star promos were there in total? There's 53 Black Star promos, right?
Yeah.
So literally Black Star promos it took years for those to come out. You're talking MetaZoo has 50 in 9 months. So
yeah, that's like saying how many Black Star or how many Pokemon promo cards were there by the time Jungle came out? Because that was the second Pokemon set.
I can name them.
The second MetaZoo set.
Yeah. So I think we got all the way up to Black promo number 7 with the Arcanine. I think that was the 7th Black Star promo, and by Jungle, that's where we are at. Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
We're not in 1999 though. I like that.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a fair comparison.
Yeah. What's your favorite Black Star promo?
Ooh. That's I think I would have to go with the Dragonite, the WB movie. Either our birthday Pikachu. I do like that one a lot too. But I do like Dragonite as a Pokemon. He's a cool Pokemon. I like him.
Got a box of Black Star promos in the basement. Should I bring? I'm not gonna bring them up. We could look through them all. But, let's see. Yeah, see, this is the thing. This is what Basic Trainer did. Everybody who's watching this video after the fact. Once somebody starts talking about MetaZoo in the chat just gets like, there's a Pokemon channel. I don't know anything about MetaZoo. I just know I don't really like it. Have you been buying any?
I do. So I'm doing one of each booster box and then one of each theme deck. So I got first edition Cryptid and then Nightfall. No intentions to get the Kickstarter version of Cryptid.
Yeah. Did you look at it? We're in this world, right? We're in this sphere.
Yeah.
There was a while where like Rudy started really shilling hard on MetaZoo, and I'm like, I don't see the long-term viability of something like this, but I could see this being like a short-term play, and I should have bought a freaking Kickstarter box, but they were already like $700 at the point.
Yep.
And then even C&G, he cracked a first edition Kickstarter box and was selling packs at like $100 a piece.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And then even when he did it, I was like, yeah, $100 a pack. Like, maybe I should spend the $400 and get an art set. But then I was like, no, this is still a scam. But now, like, I wish I went and bought a stupid $400 art set when Z&G was cracking boxes. Like,
don't we all?
Like that's the thing too, is like we're so aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it goes back to what I said. Like, if you polled 100 people, no one would know. It's just we live in this like weird sphere.
Yeah,
And,
no, definitely.
and like some of the things I did to judge MetaZoo is I looked at some of the views they had on videos, and I had a video with more views, and I'm like, uh-oh.
That's not good. Not good.
And then their Discord for a while had like very few members. And then listen, I understand, like a good good marketer, he marketed that right. He said, hey, if you guys want this NFT, you have to join our Discord group.
Yeah.
And then Discord, and then that group just exploded. And it's like, listen, I understand, I see what you're doing. You're a good marketer.
He really is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You're Schiller, you're full of crap, and now you're not going to tell people what like the new print run numbers are going to be. You're going to lie about that shit. Like, that's fine, because when you build a house of cards, you don't take cards off the bottom of the house. You take cards off the top and say, look at how beautiful this house is. So
but no, it'll be interesting to see what happens once the second edition of Cryptid comes out. I think that'll reveal a lot.
Pokey Fresh said, what have you heard about MetaZoo Kickstarters being printed by a company that makes proxy Pokemon cards? Listen, there's a lot of companies probably make proxy Pokemon cards. Like, there's a lot of fake Pokemon cards. How many fake Pokemon cards do you get? Yeah, I mean, you get big collection buys, right? You must get them once in a while.
Every once in a while, not super often, or a lot of them in one collection, but every once in a while I'll come across one.
Yeah, I always run across like big collection buys, and they always will have like one, but it always be like I don't know if they did a bunch of like real poor quality like first edition jungle cards.
Oh yeah.
I see those come up in all the time, and it's like you don't even say anything. It's like one or two, and it's always like the same Meowth or Jigglypuff. Like,
yep.
So, yeah, you got anything else you want to add? But we'll probably wrap this up pretty soon. Hey, I just want to say again, thanks a lot for coming on. I had a blast.
I always enjoy talking Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's a big portion of my life. So whenever I actually get to talk to someone, I enjoy it.
Yeah. And I know you got your busy life of call it the never ending sorting that you have to do.
Yeah, seriously. That is really a never ending task right there.
Yeah, but if anybody is just new tuning in now, Nick Old School Pokemon is going to be doing a Black Friday sale on eBay. Probably be some real good deals out there. So after this video is over and it processes, I'm going to add a link to his eBay store. I definitely recommend you guys checking it out, or just search his name on eBay. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that. Should be a good weekend.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got any final thoughts? The Jerry Springer final thoughts moment?
No, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was good having you.
Glad to have finally sat down and chat with you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said yes to it. So.
Oh, always.
Yeah, but have yourself a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, you as well, and
right.
Everyone in the chat that's from the U.S. Hopefully, you have a great Thanksgiving. If not, have a good Thursday at work.
Yep. All right, guys. I'll catch you on the next video.